In Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, you are advised to avoid the free lunch. Avoid the fallacy of the free lunch. And understand something in a relationship of any kind, whether it is a business relationship, an education relationship, a family relationship, or a romantic relationship, 50-50 is the free lunch. And you want to avoid that, particularly if you are a man. What you see on your screen, I think, is the quintessential description or depiction of how you envision in your head that the 50-50 relationship will work. Why, sometimes she leads and sometimes you lead. You go, then I go. That's the way you think of it. Here's the way it really winds up working out right here. It is not going to be some stroll through the park in some amicable agreement. It is going to be a constant fight for power and control about who is going to answer one fundamental question. And we are going to get to that fundamental question in a few moments here. But first, you have to be advised of where we're going with it. So first of all, 50-50 relationships don't work. It always offends me when I hear men in particular talk about that. That is the very definition of a guy who has failed to launch. So why don't we go ahead and explain that to you? And before we get started, make sure you like the program and share it. And thank you to everyone here who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, or Cash App. Thank you very much. So let me go through the list here, because you need to learn, number one, there's no such thing as two leaders. That is impossible. Somebody is here trying to get benefits. The other person is here actually doing something. So in a relationship, there are no such thing as two leaders. You don't have two quarterbacks on the football team. The corporations that run the worst are the ones that try to have multiple managers and redundancy. Redundancy always leads to conflict. Therefore, you cannot have a 50-50 situation because someone must lead. Someone must initiate. Somebody's gotta go first. And the quintessential question that we're going to get to here in a few moments is going to be the real boondoggle that makes it impossible to have two people saying, let's go first. But you should also immediately understand there is an immediate conflict because you cannot have two leaders. One of you will be leading, the other will be following. One will be assertive, the other one will be submissive. One of you is going to be plotting out the course. The other one will be at best assisting. But somebody is going to be taking the wheel. And when you get to a corner, there will be impasses where you say left and they say right. Someone is going to have the ability to say, I make the last choice. The buck stops here. That is the first thing. Next, not taking charge makes a woman look feminine. But not taking charge makes a man look weak. So the first problem that you see here is that as a man, you can't actually have this idea that somehow you'll defer to her and keep your position of manhood. You cannot think that you are going to defer to her and keep your position of manhood. It does not work that way. You are not going to be able to do that. You are going to have to be able to show that. You see, if you've been raised in a single mother home, then you have been taught these submissive strategies. And that works perfectly fine in the company of your mother. That works perfectly fine in her company. But that doesn't work anywhere else. As a man, we are expecting that you will be decisive. The definition of decisive is when you're looking at her, expecting her to take charge. It enhances her abilities. It enhances her when she gets in the back seat, when she gets in the passenger seat. It enhances her because she is assuming the assistant position. It doesn't enhance you. It doesn't enhance you with women. It doesn't enhance you with children. It doesn't enhance you at the job. It doesn't enhance you anywhere. So as a man, understand something. Taking the feminine position automatically relegates you to weakness. It takes a strong female to properly assist a man. Unfortunately, it takes a weak man to be looking at the female saying, what we gonna do? I'm probably going to offend a bunch of people here. I'm looking at my likes numbers. I'm offending people right out of the gate. Oh well, so be it. Mama's boys, look out below. Number 3. Oh boy. All the sister girls who were applauding me a few moments ago are about to get real damn offended. Let's be very, very clear about something here. Women believe in taking 50-50 credit. They only believe in 50-50 when it's time to take the credit. When things go wrong, oh, no. It will not be 50-50. If things go wrong, it's all on you. If things go wrong. If things go wrong, you're the problem. You're to blame. She ain't gonna put that on her. As soon as you sit there and say, well, you know what? We 50-50. You made the decision this 50% of the time. She's gonna be like, oh, no. Brake pedal. Oh, no. Absolutely not. No way. Take a look at every relationship you read about online. You ask any female, she will tell you the man was the problem in the relationship. He cheated on me. He beat on me. He sweet on me. He wasn't, it was irreconcilable differences. We grew apart because he wasn't doing enough. You've never seen a female, except when I forced them to online, sit up here and tell you I was the problem in the relationship. The problem was me. If you leave it to a woman anywhere in your life, your mother, your grandmother, your female coworkers, everybody, when you ask them, why did your last relationship break up? Why? It was him. He was wrong. He just wasn't right. He didn't do that enough. They don't, when things are going well, if they bought a house, she will tell you I was the one who chose the house. I was the one who talked to the realtor. Even if they got, now you take a look at the mortgage and say, wow, this is a terrible mortgage you chose. Oh, well, he was the one who agreed to the mortgage terms. What? You just told me that you picked the house, you took the mortgage. Yeah, but I agreed to the mortgage, but hell, I didn't know you was going to ask me about that. So just understand, women will sit up here and tell you that they're okay with 50-50. Yeah, as long as things are going well. Remember the old saying, success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan. Failure is not just a bastard child. Failure is an orphan. And it's the women who leave that little bastard at the firehouse to be picked up. When things are going well, she is going to elbow you out of the way to get credit. When things are going terrible, she's looking at you like, why didn't you fix this? Even if she made the decision. So understand, women do not believe in taking blame. Women do not believe in holding their L's. They don't believe in that. So it will not be 50-50. Even the women in the chat room, you right, Glenda, you talk to your mamas, talk to your grandmamas. Have y'all ever tried to get the females in your family to take the blame for any bad decision they ever made? Have you ever been able to get them to ever take responsibility for a bad decision? Some of y'all got sisters who got 4 and 5 kids by 4 and 5 different dudes. Has she ever taken responsibility and said, wow, I'm really messed up? Hell no. She'll sit there and argue into the ground. All 4 of them dudes was wrong, but you're the one who owns the womb, ma'am. Yeah, but they took advantage of me. They should have stepped up. Why didn't you get a guy who was already stepped up? Well, he wasn't what I thought he was. How old you got to be before you realized this? Even the females here, you know damn well you can't get along with the other females in your family. They won't take responsibility for their actions. They won't do it. They just looking at you like, well, you know, things just didn't go right there. No, I don't know what happened. So no, women don't take the blame. They just want to take the credit. Fellas, get it out of your head that she's going to take the blame for her bad decisions. If things go wrong, she's immediately going to come over looking at you. Why don't we just go ahead and cut to the chase? You just hand me the damn steering wheel from here on in. Number 4. Oh yeah, there's more. Now here's the other problem. The reason that you cannot have a 50-50 relationship of any kind, but particularly in your personal life, your employer doesn't believe in a 50-50 relationship. You don't get to go to the job and have a 50-50 relationship. When you go to the job, the boss is like, hey, I make the rules. This is what it is. It ain't no 50-50 relationship. It's 90-10. It's 90-10. In other words, the boss pulls rank. When you go in there, he is sitting at the table pulling rank. And at your job, you got to make a living. So you automatically, you accept that at your job, but then you sit up here and think you're going to come home and suddenly it doesn't work that way. No, understand something, that when you put it in a woman's hands, you are giving her the ability to pull rank. Because the final point we're going to get to, and yes, I'm prepping this for you. When I get to my final point, it's going to clarify that for you. But the bottom line is, when you put it 50-50, you're telling the woman that you're giving her the ability to pull rank. Men don't like it when she decides, okay, well, you put it in my damn hands. Let me pull this damn rank. Next thing you know, she wants to tell you what will be. She wants to tell you how much you should pay. That's what's going to happen if you put it in her hands. 50-50 suddenly turns to 90-10. Even if it isn't, you're going to want to be deciding, well, okay, it 50-50 here. You don't want her sitting up here trying to decide for you what the 50-50 should be. Because when she does, if she decides to tell you, okay, we're going to go 50-50 on something that you don't want to go 50-50 on, then what? Well, we'll discuss it. Sorry, you both got equal veto power. Y'all 50-50, remember? Don't worry, it goes from bad to worse. Let's get to the bottom line here. Women don't respect a man who's looking to her for direction. She does not respect that. She doesn't. Let me tell you something, fellas. I have been an A1 premium jerk most of my whole damn life here. And let me tell you, that's the best way to get respect. It doesn't mean that they're going to like you. Has nothing to do with being liked. Has nothing to do at all with being liked. If a woman thinks that you are dependent on her, she is immediately losing altitude. She's immediately losing altitude. She wants to be plugged into your program. If you do not give her a program to plug into, guess what? You're dead in the water. You cannot have the attitude that you are going to be respected under these circumstances. And you are so obviously looking to her for direction, looking to her for initiative, looking to her for what should be done next. She wants to know what will happen next. You are the one who informs what will happen next. This is why it is so damn important for a man to have a game plan. When a man has a game plan, then you're giving a woman something to plug into. A woman can see when your life isn't going anywhere. A woman can see when you're not moving. She can see when you have no ambition. She can see when you're just flying by the seat of your pants. You're ad-libbing. You're making this up as you go along. That doesn't engender confidence from anybody. She's looking to see if you have a plan. And if you have a plan, you shouldn't be coming to her to find out what we're going to do next. The more reliant you are on her, the less respect she will have for you, because by definition, you're putting her into the masculine position. You don't want to do that. You're trying to have something cute sitting around. You don't want to do that. It doesn't work. So a woman doesn't respect a man who's looking to her for direction, because what she takes that as is, this is my direction. Well, hell, if I'm going to be coming up with the ideas here, let me go ahead and run the damn ship. Let me just run the damn ship then. If I'm going to be calling hands, let me go ahead and do that then. Let me do what I do. It's all fun and games until she decides that, okay, I've decided to pick what direction we're going to be going now. And then if you don't like that direction, guess what? You've conditioned her to stick to her guns. Now, let's be clear about this next point here. You can't command what you don't pay for. You cannot command what you don't pay for. The number one, probably the biggest reason that you should not allow a 50-50 relationship is because that is only going to be a formula for dispute. It is a formula for conflict. When you don't make it very, very clear who it is who has put in the lion's share, then it becomes a conflict. If you don't make it absolutely clear that you have put in the lion's share, it becomes a conflict. And I know what some of you guys are going to say, hell, it's a conflict even sometimes when you don't. Yes, but here's the difference. The difference is, under those circumstances, you have something to pull rank with. When it's 50-50, you have nothing to pull rank with except your complaints. How well does that work out? Next thing you know, you're stuck at a stalemate. Do you want to have power or do you want to have a stalemate? And if you don't know what a stalemate is, look it up. Do you want to be stuck at a standstill? I call this the definitive school of power dynamics because I'm telling you about how to exercise power. When you go to your employer does not want a 50-50 relationship. I'm bringing this all together everywhere in your life. As an employer, you can't command what you don't pay for. If your workers are volunteers, how much commanding can you do? As an employer. So just understand, this isn't just in romantic relationships or personal relationships. Let's just talk about student-teacher. Let's talk about employer-employee. If the people who are working for you are volunteers, how much commanding can you do? Because they're like, well, damn, we're all volunteers here. You ain't no higher on the pecking order. Next thing you know, egos come into play. You know how you squash an ego? You know how you stamp out an ego? You show them who the boss is. It needs to be very clear who's the boss. And a woman is looking for a boss. It doesn't matter what female you got. Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, whatever. They're like, okay, can I get me a knockoff boss? Can I get me a facsimile boss? Can I get me a pretend boss? I ain't trying to be the boss like that. Let me get somebody who at least looks like they're in charge. So you can't command what you pay for, what you don't pay for. 50-50 doesn't work. It can't work. It'll never work. Because you can't command something that you don't pay for. And if you don't do that, you don't have anything. Let me ask you some fundamental questions here. How do you have, for anybody who wants to dispute me about this, explain something to me. How do you have leverage with someone that you are equally matched with? Tell me, where do you have leverage in a stalemate? Where's your leverage? Where's your ability to break the stalemate? Where's your ability to break the standstill? Where's your leverage when you're dealing with someone who is equally matched with you? What are you gonna do here? Tell me exactly what is the plan for this 50-50 situation to work when you meet an impasse. What do you do? The only thing you can do is submit. Now that you can do. And let's be very, very clear. Ladies, I got to tell it like it is. You know it's the damn truth. When a woman gets a man to submit, she doesn't become more merciful. She doesn't become more understanding. She becomes more sadistic. She becomes more abusive. Fellas, I don't care if your relationship makes it or not. The bottom line is go out with your boots on, because if you submit, just understand that's not going to make her more understanding. That's going to make her more sadistic, more abusive. She's going to get worse. She's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. When she sees a man submit to her, when a woman feels she's in a more powerful position, women by definition abuse authority. Why do you think that the majority of child abuses are done by what? Women. The majority of child abuse is done by women. Women abuse authority on a regular basis. You've never seen men kill as many children, except these mass shooters, as women. Men don't generally beat the kids to death. They don't generally beat the kids. That's the women who do that. Women when they're given authority. And by the way, for any females who are upset about I said that, think about your last damn female manager at your job. Who did you get along with better? The men at your job or the women as your supervisors? Who did you butt heads with more? I'm talking to the females right now. Have you, even the females here, have you ever seen a woman that you worked with who got authority and one of your female coworkers, they promoted her and then she didn't abuse her authority? You tell me. I don't care how long you were working with her. You tell me one that you were working with and everything was okay. You tell me, for the females here, any of y'all who've ever done hair, any of you who've ever been teachers, any of you who worked in corporate America, the moment they sat up here and promoted your sister girl, she sat up here and all your worst fears about her, she proved them right. And you know it. Y'all know damn well a female's worst nightmare would be to work in a workplace with nothing but a bunch of women. You know it's the damn truth. You know it is. And the reason you know it is because you know damn well the first thing is going to happen. And by the way, how many of the females, show of hands, let me get a hands up emoji. Hands up emoji from the females. How many of the females in my chat room right now, you have been a manager at your job supervising other women? Let me get a hands up emoji. We're about to find out something here. If we got any of you here, if you've been at a job or whatever, and you were a manager or a supervisor, and you were a female and you were supervising other females, to the women here. How many women I got in my chat? Listen to me right now. You've been a supervisor over other women. Okay, we got a few of y'all here. How'd that work out? Did the other females say, yes, girl, we finally got the dudes out of the way. Now we all get to work together cooperatively? Or did those other females say, damn, you heifer, you just a woman like me? You tell me, did the other females fall in line or did they immediately start challenging your authority? How many of you are females and you had other females try to go over your head to whoever your boss was simply because they didn't want to do what you were telling them to, not because you told them anything that was not their responsibility, not because you gave them a task that was outside of their job description, but simply because you were another female? How many of y'all are going to be real about that? How many of you going to be real about that? How many of you going to keep it real? It wasn't girlfriends. It wasn't girlfriends. You got together with the other females and they just went to work and it's just, I don't have to do what you say. You just another chick like me. Yeah, the sisterhood dies real damn quick. Okay, the sisterhood dies real quick. Well, ladies, imagine what it's like being a man putting up with your ass. Imagine, because let me tell you right now, for all the females sitting here right now saying, yeah, those other females do that. Guess what? It's a man saying the exact same thing about you. It's about 4 or 5 of us saying the exact same thing about you. So, ladies, if that's the way you all deal with each other, can you imagine what it's like for a man putting up with y'all? Can you imagine and we paying your bills? Can you imagine what it's like for the man in your life? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what we going through? Fellas, if I'm preaching right now, give me a thumbs up emoji and hit my likes for me. If I'm telling the truth, if I'm giving the gospel, give me a thumbs up emoji and hit the likes for me. Go ahead and hit my likes for me and give me a thumbs up emoji if I'm telling the truth. Because they'll be sitting here in the chat room talking about, yeah, all them other women act like that. Ma'am, there's a nigga at your house right now saying exactly what I'm saying, and you ignoring him. You just disregarding him. Well, you know, he always talk like that. He always do that. I don't worry about him. Okay. If I'm telling the truth, hit the likes for me and give me the thumbs up. I must be saying something right. There's a whole lot of thumbs up blowing up in the chat room right now. I must be telling the truth. I must be saying something halfway right. They hitting me up right now. No, you thought it was going to be girlfriends. It was going to be something else. it was going to be something else. So you don't have leverage with someone you equally match with. And if that person you equally match with is a woman, get ready to get tested. Get ready for an uprising. Let me tell you something right now. I was talking to a young woman here earlier this week. She said she wanted assistance. Tell you how much assistance she wanted. She literally, whenever I would point out something, you all have heard me do this on phone calls here. I point out something. A woman's default to a man saying something is no. That ain't right. She will just dispute it. If you sit up here and tell her the light is green, no. The light is green though. Oh yeah, it is. So by default, their default is going to be to sit up here and argue. Their default is to resist. And y'all have seen that. Women will sit up here and tell you you're wrong just to say you're wrong. So you have to understand, if you don't have leverage, what the hell is it going to be? What the hell what are you going into? What are you going in with? What are you expecting? What are you expecting? But that's the first question I want to ask anybody who tells me they can have a 50-50 relationship and it turn out well. I'm not saying you can't have a 50-50 relationship. I'm saying the damn thing can't turn out well. It can't do that. You can have a 50-50 relationship, but just understand something here. If you are 50-50, you are subordinate. You know, I was listening to the, on YouTube, there's the car designer, Frank Stevenson. He's designed some iconic designs for Ferrari and BMW. And he was talking about car design and, you know, just talking about how BMW was making changes to their cars and things like that. And some folks don't like it. But he was like, you know, them and Ferrari is making changes to the car and stuff. And, you know, Ferrari is always trying to have an iconic look to it. And he was talking about, you know, they made some subtle changes here because coming out with the new model, but you have to. And he said you have to because if you're standing still, you're falling behind. He said you have to evolve, you have to change, you have to make improvements or changes to the design because if you're standing still, you're falling behind. Understand something. As a man in a so-called 50-50 relationship, you're not even. You're not standing still. You're falling behind. The landscape is constantly moving. You are not keeping up. You're standing behind. And the result will be inevitable. Contempt. By definition. Because it is an unspoken female assumption that merely your presence will make her life better. If you fail this basic test, she automatically, by definition, respect is lost. And remember what respect is. Remember what respect is. Respect has an element of fear. And I'm talking about fear like you're afraid of electricity, you're afraid of fire. You are respectful. You know there are certain things you do and do not do, even if you feel like it. I don't care how much you want to shoot water guns in the house. You stay away from the electrical outlets. I don't care how much you like to smoke. If you want to keep your damn house, keep it away from the couch and anything that can set fire. Because the fire doesn't care what you like any more than the electricity does. It will work fine as long as you respect the boundaries that the fire inherently demands. Things will work out fine so long as you respect the boundaries that the fire inherently demands. But if you start playing with the fire, you're going to get burned. How many times you ever heard, you know, fire, if you play with people, you'll get burned? No. So if a woman does not have respect, the next thing you know is contempt. Contempt is what you do with somebody you don't respect. Employees, your children. How do you know that your children don't have a healthy fear of you? They start talking back. They start back talking. Who is you? They calling you names, they acting like the little white kids at the grocery store. When your kids don't have respect for you, they start talking back. You want to know who the well-behaved children are? The children who they did something and their parents let them know in no uncertain terms, that ain't gonna happen again. The kids who are the most respectful and well-behaved, they tried that one time with their parents, probably at a very young age. They was 3 years old. And I've seen some folks, they got kids in my family, in adjacent families. They got kids, like when the kids are old enough to start walking, they do this. When they start walking, they start hitting. I've seen that with certain kids. And it's not my family necessarily, but I've seen folks with certain kids. I don't know what this thing is. When the kids get big enough, they start walking around. They'll climb up on the couch. They'll climb up on your arm, and then they'll try to hit you in the side of the head. I don't know if it's because of the movies they watch or TV or whatever. They'll sit up here and just climb up on you and start trying to smack you up. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Okay. Now, that's at 3 years old. How you handle that child at 3 years old when he does that is going to set the tone for the rest of their life. Now, how many of y'all have had some 3-year-old children who tried to climb up on you and slap you upside the head thing? This little sapsucker can't barely talk, but they're climbing on you and doing this face slap thing. How many of y'all got a 3-year-old in the family or have had a 3-year-old in the family and they did that? Then let me get a show of hands. How many of you had a 3-year-old in the family and that's what they did? They, just what Jason said, they climbed up on you here and you thought everything was all nice and gravy. Next thing you know, this little sapsucker done set up here and started slapping on you. Okay, now, what did you do about that? All right, now I'm just asking, okay, now that you've conceded, okay, that's happened. Now, what did you do about it? How many of you sat there with the stop? That is not nice. You should not do that. That is not nice. Now you ain't got to sit here and 48 hours confess on yourself. You ain't got to do that. All I'm saying is, by the way, what did you do about that? Did you sit there and, well, let me talk this over. Let me reason with the little barbarian. How many of you did that? Because let me tell you something. I'm from Louisiana. I don't know where the rest of y'all from. I'm from Louisiana. You ever saw a 3-year-old get slapped so hard he did a 720 in the air? Okay. Think about that for a few moments. I don't know about the rest of you, but in Louisiana, it go a little bit different. Next, for anybody who tells me that 50-50 can work, then my next question to you is, how does someone on the same level as you help you to become better? You can only become better if you're dealing with somebody who's on a better level than you. You can only become better, whether it's basketball, whether it's business, whether it's school. You can't get raised up unless you are dealing on a regular basis with somebody on a higher level than you, somebody you look up to, somebody that you're dealing with on a higher level. If the person you're dealing with is on the same level as you, by definition, you are in stagnation. And by definition, this is going to be a formula and a cesspool and a petri dish for contempt. There's going to be nothing but contempt. It has to be. No, a woman is looking for a man on a different level than her. Let me tell you something, fellas. The worst thing you can do isn't to offend a woman. The worst thing you can do is show her that you're not moving, you're not shaping, and that you can be disrespected. That's the worst thing you can do. She will get over literally everything else except a lack of performance. So if you're on the same level as her, then by definition, there's nothing to look up to. Now, let me go ahead and connect this to your workplace. If you were as smart as your manager at work, how the hell are you going to respect this guy? How are you going to become better if you know as much as your manager, your supervisor at work does? If you and he are equals, then how is it you see yourself on the same, how is you see him on a higher level? How do you see yourself on a higher level? In the classroom, if you are as smart as your teacher is, then how is it that you expect the students to respect the teacher when the students are as smart or smarter than the teacher is? By definition, it doesn't work. It can't happen. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in your family and in your personal life and your personal relationships. Someone on the same level as you can't help you become better. And as soon as you figure out this person can't take me nowhere, contempt. And let's be very, very clear about a couple of things right here, right now. Let me go ahead and just say it like it is. Ladies, I got to read your mail right quick. Fellas, need I remind you, women have unspoken assumptions. Number one unspoken assumption, your very presence as a man in her life is going to elevate her life. She assumes this by definition, that just your presence in her life as a man is going to improve her life. That her life is going to get better and easier simply on account of the fact that you are there. And as a guy, you like, well, damn, I ain't did nothing. You like, you showed up. She's like, you here? My life should start getting better. You're here. That's unspoken assumption number one. But unspoken assumption number two is that you are going to walk in the door expecting to produce. And then she's not going to have to tell you that. That walking in the door, you got the juice, you got the drive, you've got the desire to sit up here and workhorse without her saying anything about that. These are unspoken assumptions. Women don't say these things, but these are unspoken assumptions. She is just assuming that that's what's going to occur. She is assuming that. And if you are a guy who was able to get into a relationship with a woman, and then she later figures out that you don't really have what it takes or have the ability or the wherewithal or desire to make her life better, she looks at you and you're just spinning your wheels, then guess what? A woman is going to become super vindictive. Well, what do you mean by that? You got to understand something. Unspoken assumption number 3 from females, that if she has been giving you sex, she assumes that that sex is a down payment on something else. A woman assumes that you owe her something. Remember, I told you all this for years. Write this down. A woman assumes that you owe her something simply on the fact that she's been opening her legs for you for whatever amount of time. Ladies, can y'all be honest enough to tell the truth? If I'm telling the truth, ladies, give me a diamond emoji in the chat room. Ladies, can you keep it a buck? The older chicks will do it. The younger ones, I don't know. They kind of scared. But to the females who are honest, give me a diamond emoji in the chat room if what I just said was the truth. That's truly what you feel. That by virtue of the fact you've opened your legs to this man for 2 or 3 years, you feel like you are owed 2 or 3 years of tax-free productivity, tax-free elevation. For that and nothing else. Nigga, I've opened my legs for you. You've been laying on top of me for 3-4 years. You owe me 3 or 4 years of benefits. Go ahead and keep it real, ladies. We ain't gonna judge you. We ain't gonna judge you. Go ahead and let the fellas know that's what it really is, though. Just let them know that's what it really is, boy. Y'all see, boy, it's more diamonds in here than Zales. Boy, I'm telling you, it's more diamonds in here right now than K Jewelers. It's a bunch of names of females I've never seen before. They stuck their heads up. Guys, you better start taking notice. You better start taking notice. The women are keeping it a buck with you. They keeping it honest. Okay, don't get mad because they keeping it real. Don't get mad because they keeping it real. They letting you know. They letting you know. Yeah, some of you niggas owe invoices. You got 2 or 3 women you've been laying on top of for half a damn decade. That chick is still riding the bus. Don't you know she's plotting your murder? Don't you know you gonna turn up on ID Discovery? She's like, I've been sleeping with this nigga for half a decade. We done walked by Nordstrom's, ain't never walked in it. He must die. She's like, that's 5 years of perfectly good sex that I'm not going to be able to claw back. Oh, no. No, death sentence. He signed his death warrant. No. I could have slept with your coworker and got a pair of shoes. Oh, no, death warrant. Death warrant. Must be capital punishment. Boy, some of the females is late. The stream is late for them. They throwing some diamonds. Denise J, everybody stopped throwing them diamonds a minute ago. Red Sack, oh, they late. Boy, this, what they say, they just now got it, but they're like, let me find. Oh, I'm sorry. You had to go scrolling through your emojis to find the diamond emoji. I got it. That's not the one that people usually use. They usually use the hands and the faces. They stuck with it. They dedicated to it. Yolanda, I see you there. They kept looking till they find the diamond emoji. Look here. I'm going to let you know it. Hell yes. That nigga been laying on me since the Tupac era. Somebody need to hear my frustration. He wonders why I'm back talking. Been triple X rated now for a decade. I ain't got nothing for it. Okay, ladies, I'm speaking to your pain. I'm speaking to your pain. Lorraine, if you put more diamonds, how many niggas was it, Lorraine? How many dudes was it? I mean, do those diamonds represent men or men or years? I'm noticing there's women up here putting up multiple diamonds. I'm wondering, does that represent the number of men or the number of years? Somebody explain this to me. Does that represent the number of years or the number of men? I don't know. She put up about 10 of them. I'm like, about 20 of them. What in the world is she doing? Ma'am, do I need to have you call up so you can explain your life? Do we need you to call up so you can explain this to us? That's a whole lot of diamonds. That sounds like frustration. This sounds like a lifetime of unmet expectations. We might need to have you call in. We just might. But in any case, so on the same level as you can't help you become better. And a woman is assuming that her life will get better. It is an unspoken assumption. And if she's been opening her legs for you, she's saying, bam, nigga. That's a panty down payment. These are down payment panties. I need to be getting something. I need to be getting something. On account of the fact that you've been laying up with me all this time. I done got you out them streets wondering where you gonna get your next woman from. I gotta get something. So just understand they're expecting that. But finally, I told you all I was going to bring this to you here. I've tried to run through this as quickly as I can in that regard. And to anybody who wants to ask these questions or wants to sit up here and argue that a 50-50 relationship can work, these questions are showing you it doesn't work. But last but not least, fellas, here's the soul crusher for you. This is the quintessential reason why a 50-50 relationship will not work. It won't work for you. It won't work because it can't work. Who is going to decide if your 50% has the same value as their 50%? To the mama's boys and the Similac babies out here sitting up telling yourself, well, no, I can go ahead and keep my job at Jiffy Lube. I'm doing good. By the way, who's going to decide if your 50% has the same value as their 50%? Who's going to decide that? Remember, she's got equal say. Well, if she's got equal say, then what are you going to do when she tells you that today your 50% isn't worth as much as her 50%? And every man and woman in here knows that's the damn truth. And when you allow it to be 50%, she's going to tell you that she's going to jump up at some point and tell you that whatever you did yesterday or last week, that your 50% isn't worth as much as you think it is. What are you gonna do? Who is gonna be the one who decides the value of your 50%? Who's going to decide that? Who is going to sit up here and validate, 50% has 50% is the same value as her 50%? This is why you can't even start down that road. You can't even begin down that road. You don't even want to start down that road. Don't even get that one started. Don't even get it started. You are leaving yourself in a situation immediately where they're going to be deciding whether your 50% is worth as much as you think it is. That's the problem. And what you're going to find is that eventually your 50%, you're going to have to put in 60%. Then it's 70%. And eventually she's going to get down what we told you before. She's like, well, hell, my 50% is laying up with you. And fellas, your ability to tell her, no ma'am, is going to be dependent upon how much leverage you have. Yes, it's silly, it's infantile, it's immature. That's women. Your job is to make sure that when silly and infantile shows up, you're like, excuse me. No, ma'am. Yeah, I knew this was coming. But by the way, yeah, wrong. Wrong. Man, if she jumps up here with, well, you know what, nigga, I should have married your cousin or whatever, and you can tell her, well, ma'am, you know what, I still got the, you talking about what you could have done, I still have the option of getting somebody else. So, if you ready to jump out the plane, I'm ready to pull this ripcord. All of a sudden, model citizen. But let's be very, very clear here. You don't want to leave yourself in a situation where somebody else is defining for you what the 50% is. You want to be the one defining that. You want to be the sole arbiter of what the 50% is. You don't want somebody else jumping up and telling you, okay, well, this will be enough. This is what it is. This is what it should be. You don't want that to be the case. You want to be the one deciding that. You need to be the one deciding that. Your manhood depends on it. Your manhood depends on it. Your everything depends on that. Because, ladies, that's the unspoken assumption from a man. A man's unspoken assumption, I don't give a damn if it's the biggest beta-ass simp you ever met in your life. He wants to be respected. I don't care what he tells you. He wants to be respected. When he hears that he is not respected, that's going to stick with him. That will never leave. It will never go away. So as a woman, if you want to know what your responsibility is, that man's unspoken assumption is that he will be respected. I don't care how much of a beta chump you think you got. He is expecting that he will be respected. He might tolerate a lot of mess for a while, but one day it's going to boil over. Bottom line, that is what every man has the expectation of. Every man has that expectation. And when somebody wants to redefine what the 50% is, just understand it's very tempting for a woman to say, let me see how far I can push these now. Let me see how far I can push it. Okay, fellas, your only leverage to stop that nonsense is the ability to pull rank. If you don't have the ability to pull rank, you ain't got nothing. It's just that simple. You need the ability to pull rank. You need the ability to make that happen. If you don't want it to be an argument, then you've got to walk in the door with that on deck. And I know it's very, very hard. When you have a failed generation, I gotta say it like it is, when you have a bunch of fellas here who they have a ready-made group, a ready-made social circle of fellow failures, that makes you very comfortable being that. But just understand, that's the guarantee that you will not get respected. You cannot. A man must have leverage, point blank, period, end of discussion. He must have leverage. You must. It cannot be 50-50. You got to walk in the front door suited and booted, sunglasses on, riding high and saying, I'm the boss. It cannot be, let's make a deal. It must be, here's the deal. And then you've got to be ready, willing, and able to execute. But no, 50-50 cannot work. 50-50 is a ready-made formula for contempt. You've never seen a man that 50-50 was working for. The only folks who are going to claim it's working is a guy who's been completely whored out, pimped out, baited out. But he's not happy because he can't be. She's damn sure not happy. If she is, she's only happy dominating him. But understand something. There are women who love men, and then there are women who love to punish men. And you have to decide which end of that equation you're going to be on. However, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have it right. Maybe I need you to clear this up for me. So therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the program that led the foundation upon which all of the YouTube manosphere steals, copies, and rips off and adjusts their philosophies based upon. Every single one of them. You all go listen to them. I'm the guy that all of them listen to. Go check their programs next week, and you will hear them furiously updating their lexicons, because they must. But the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. I'm also going to go ahead and open up Zoom here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and open up Zoom. Ladies, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Go ahead and give us a call on that. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And the phone lines are open here as well. So go ahead and be looking for that. Go ahead and drop this link for you here in the chat room so you can go ahead and see that. All right, there's the Zoom link in the chat. We'll go ahead and pin that for you. So the Zoom link is pinned to the top of the chat here. And by the way, don't come in there just rubbernecking and gawking. If you're not interested in talking, I'm going to remove you. So if you don't want to get kicked off of Zoom, I suggest you pay attention. But the telephone lines are now open here. Zoom is now open, so go ahead and join us as well. We'll be glad to have you. By the way, I do give priority to Zoom, so if you want to jump the line, all you got to do is jump on Zoom, but you'll have to wait now because I'm going to go ahead and take some phone calls. Let me get caller from area code 281. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Prince out of Richmond, Texas.
Prince out of Richmond. What's on your mind?
Okay, Jason. We know that women don't like 50-50 relationship because they're not going to take 50-50 responsibility of issues. Okay, when it comes to raising the children, if they're successful, the women take credit for them. If they become ball stars or they do anything in life to be successful, if they don't take any responsibility for their children's failure. And it's like this, Jason. You know, if you won't lead your woman, some other man will. She's going to find a man to lead, or she's just going to be frustrated and punish you. Now, I got a question for you. How does 50-50 relationships affect a woman's hypergamous nature? And we know with black women, it's hard to be hypergamous because of the fact that monkey branching is a bigger thing for them. But how do you think it affects their hypergamous nature?
50-50 is rocket fuel for hypergamy. 50-50 is exactly the type of situation that the woman is looking to monkey. Let me tell you, put a woman in a 50-50 relationship, that heifer is looking around for branches to swing on. She's looking for a branch to monkey swing on right then. That's the launch pad, dude. That's the home base for monkey branching, is a chick who's in a 50-50 relationship. Because a woman wants to feel, she wants to at least feel that the guy she's with is the best she can do. But by definition, if he is her peer and her equal, then she automatically knows, oh, this is not the best I can do. He's on the same level as me. So a woman doesn't feel that she's reached her peak unless she gets a guy who is better than she is. Now, of course, there is a caveat to that. Because all the females out there see themselves like the collage you see on your screen here right now. It'll show up to you in a minute. But in reality, they ain't really balling like this, is what they're really doing. So it's really not, they really don't look as great as they think they do. They really, really don't.
Okay.
So it's one of those situations here where, like I say, a lot of these females don't want to accept where they actually fall in the pecking order. So when you tell, she's sitting up here telling herself, I can shop at Neiman Marcus, and you looked at her FICO, you looked at her female FICO, and it's like, ma'am, you can shop at Family Dollar. She's like, no, I don't want to believe that. And it's, ma'am, this is what you qualify for. So what I'm saying is, even if that is the reality, she's going to test it. She's going to challenge it. She's going to defy it because she knows that the quality, I'm going to do a program about this soon, the quality of man is going to determine her life. And she knows this. She knows that a man being with her is automatically going to put her ahead of the game. It automatically puts her ahead.
Right.
A man is the cheat code. Fellas, is a man is the cheat code. And women have always known this. If she wants to get the leg up on other women, a man is the cheat code. That's it right there. If I can leapfrog the rest of these hoes, if I get me the right man, I can leapfrog immediately. A man is a lottery ticket. So understand, there is no woman, no matter how decrepit her condition may be, how derelict her condition might be, she's going to say, hey, I got to be in contention. Prince, how many 60-year-old women you and I have met in our lives talking about they're going to get married? Think about that for a few moments. You and I are still meeting chicks when they're 60s and 70s talking about one day they're going to get married, ma'am. Only way you're going to get married is SSI becomes artificial intelligence and gives you a ring. That's the only way in the world that's going to happen. You're 70 years old. Well, it's a survival mechanism. She understands she needs this. Now, just because cognitive dissonance is kicked in, that doesn't change the reality. She knows what she needs, even if she's not eligible for it. She knows she needs it. So, brother, understand, they are never going to accept a death sentence. They're never going to accept that.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how it's rephrased. There's a reason why so many of them. There's a reason why so many of them were sitting up here, getting upset. When Kevin Samuels died, there was a reason why they were rejoicing, because they didn't like you're gonna die alone, or being told you're average. They didn't like that.
Right.
They didn't like that at all, because they understood that. Well, wait a minute, man. You're giving me a death sentence. You're giving me a death sentence. Well, yeah, that's where you are. This is what it's going to be. You don't have any other options. You're done. Okay, what did they do? They responded violently. How dare you condemn me? Even if it's the truth. Now that bothers them even more, because, by the way, even if it's the truth, even if it's reality.
Right.
Now they can't argue with it. Because if they could argue with it, there would be somebody taking them off the market. No, brother, you got chicks out here in their 60s and 70s, some of them older than that, go to a nursing home. They don't ever give that up, man. They don't ever give it up because they can't. They can't. They can't. It's a death sentence, brother. They can't. They can't. Forget it. They're gonna beat that drum. They will pray. They will. If they don't have a religion, they'll find a religion. They know a man is the cheat code. I got to get one. And if they're denied one, cognitive, I can fantasize him in existence. But damn it, I need it.
Yes. I want this to be clear to the young men. Even if you're leading a woman, she will still test you. Now, I want to ask you this, my last question, Jason. How should a young man or any man channel that energy when a woman is testing you? Should they be disrespected? When should they? How they should handle it, depending on how should it be considered disrespect, or should it just be considered a woman's nature?
Well, you recognize that it is nature, yes, but that doesn't prevent it from being disrespectful. And as a man, let's be very, very clear. Ain't no perfect woman. Lord knows that's true. So if you're sitting around waiting for the perfect female, I'm like, okay, I don't know who the hell you are, but there is no perfect female sitting out there. As a man, you got to understand females are untamed. Yes, ladies, I said that. Females are untamed. A female doesn't come to you domesticated. If she's over the age of 22, forget about it. Forget about it. Yes, I said it before. Nobody had the guts to say, you're going to have to break abroad. If she's over the age of 22, forget it. She's coming to you. I mean, do you realize, especially in the modern age, I've got friends who work in the school systems around this country. Some of the stuff these teachers are telling me, I'm like, they talking about
Yes.
in pretty much every state now, the thing with the kids, I'm talking about in middle school. They're sitting up here. I'm in middle school. The kids are in the classroom doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. Exactly. In the classroom. So what I'm saying is our definition of body count, we're going to have to back that number up to, quite frankly, an uncomfortable level at this point. But what I'm saying is by the time you get to her, if she's 22 years old, she might have 7 or 8 years under her belt already.
Wow.
Now think about that for a few moments. And here she comes skipping up to you at 22 or 23 with a body count in the double digits, with a body count over 24 bodies strong. And she's in her early 20s with a body count 24 strong. Bruh, if you think she's ready, if you think that's not baggage, she's never been married, doesn't have any kids, and coming to you with damn me a conveyor belt full of baggage. Bruh, it is what it is. So as men, our survival thing is we're supposed to adapt. We understand that. Okay, I'm just saying as men, you have to adapt to that. This poly purebred thing, it doesn't exist like that anymore. So the bottom line is, yes, it is disrespectful. So what do you do about it? First of all, you accept reality. That's the first thing. You accept reality, but you also understand that women are only going to respond to the quality of man that you are. So put yourself in the best position you can be in. You can't make demands when you have no leverage, when you have nothing. You don't have leadership. You don't have competence. You're not going anywhere. You're not progressing. You don't have the ability to teach her anything. Okay, then What are you giving her to submit to? Because let's be very, very clear. You got Generation Beta running around out here. They got all of their sex education from porn and rap videos. They're playing Xbox 360 and Roblox from the time they're 6 or 7 years old. So they don't even have the interaction with females that you and I did. All their interaction for the most part is online. So what I'm saying is they're separated from the real world, and then when they get grown, they are just dropped off in the deep end of the pool. Welcome to the real world, nigga. And he's not ready. He's not ready. He's like, well, damn, hold on. It's different. Yeah, dude, that fantasy world is gone. So as a man, we have to make sure we have the deck stacked in our favor when we get there. That's not something that you sit up here and start putting together later. That's not something you start putting together later. You put that together now. You put it together now. You have to be, that's what I'm saying. As a man, the reason why us taking more time always benefits us is because we're always in a better position when we're already built. You see, time benefits us. Time hurts women because all they do is rack up more baggage and body counts. It helps a man because what makes us valuable is being built. The more time we take, the better built we are. So time is our ally. It's a woman's adversary. So you have to be built and ready when you go in there. That's why I told like these young fellas who call me up and stuff. I told them, they said, well, Jason, when you should get married? I'm telling them, for most of you guys today, I can't advise you to get married until your late 30s or later. Because most of you are not built. You're not ready. You don't have enough life experiences. You're not ready to deal. You have the most sophisticated, sly, cunning group of females that has ever existed on Earth. We have never had a more cunning, scheming generation of females ever. And you're not going to be ready for that by the age of 25. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But you're not going to be ready for that. You're meeting her representative, don't you know? And Prince, you know it's true down there in Texas. You got these girls in high school laying up with grown-ass men. Let's keep it real. You got these girls in high school laying up with grown-ass men, thinking she's pulling a slick move. She's in high school laying up with a grown-ass man. What do you think that's going to do to her psyche when eventually he leaves her? She's young. She's impressionable. This is one of the first dudes she's been with. Okay, what do you think is going to happen to her psyche when he leaves her and then she realizes, I'll be damned, I'm one of them little hoes now. I always said I would never become that. Now I'm one of them little hoes. What do you think that's going to do to her psyche? Then when she meets you 4 or 5 years later, she's like, oh no, I got to get him before he gets me. I got to get him before he gets me. So you need time and experience to deal with the best and the worst in women so that when you are actually prepared, now you can make a decision. So my advice to these young men today is get your life stacked up, get plenty of experiences, date women. That's perfectly fine. Don't get kids and don't get pregnant. Don't get them pregnant. Don't get them married. You can anything else that happens, you can recover from that. You can recover from any of those. Don't give somebody who's a bad actor the ability to be permanently attached to your life. They need more time today. The females can afford to get married younger. The men can't. Okay. They simply cannot. Some other answer there is time. And the bottom line is, when you spend time on yourself, the more attractive you are to other women. Because let's be very, very clear. A woman is only going to respond to the value of the man that you are. But she needs evidence. And if she knows for a fact that her other friends would bust her in the back of the head to get what she's got, that's what keeps a woman in line, is keeping you away from these other women. A woman is not interested in what you're thinking. She looks around to see how much in demand to other women you are. And if she thinks that you are in demand to other women, she's going to make guards. She's going to block. She's like, wait a minute now. It's too hard to find one like him. If she feels like she got you where she wants you and only time gives you the ability to tell yourself, okay, I can balance this. She feels like she got you where she wants you. That's it. You're done. When she feels she can take you for granted, that's it. Your job is to make sure she never gets it in her head that she's your only option. But a young man doesn't really know how to play that, because generally the way they do it is they try to sleep with as many women as they can. The problem with that is they rack up quantity but not quality. A woman ain't afraid of you sleeping with some old raggedy, baggedy, bugly hood rat chicks. She's not worried about that. What she's worried about is your ability to grab something that's bad to the bone. Now that she is worried about. If she sees you got the ability to pull hard on some tens on a regular basis, that's what does it. She's not worried about you pulling up on a strong 3. Okay, she's like, all right, you just out. She knows you're playing yourself. She knows you're degrading yourself, because what you've done is you've tipped your hand. Okay, Black Cauldron. Oh man, where's my cauldron? There it is. Oh hell, I'm firing up the cauldron right quick for the dark arts. Just understand something. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. Fellas, if a woman sees that you re-entered the sexual marketplace, if you did cheat on her, she wants to see who the woman was, because she wants to get confirmation. All right, nigga, you did it. Let me see what you could pull. And if she sees that you goddamn me Lizzo or Tarana Burke, she's going to be like, oh, that's the best you could do? I always knew I was the best you could get. I always knew it. Now all you've done is go out and confirm it. So fellas, if you gonna run around, if you do get caught, the other chick better be bad to the bone, because if you sit up here and grab some bugly hood rat because that's all you could get, then just understand you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. She is going to take a look at who it is. She is gonna want to see who it is so she can determine if you could do better. And if you could, okay, she'll take it. She'll be like, okay, let me mind my manners. But if she can't, she's gonna check and see what you could get. And if Lizzo was the best you could do, she's gonna come back super bad. She's like, okay, you had the opportunity and that was all you could get. Now, women don't say this. By the way, ladies, in the chat room, I see a bunch of women laughing, but ladies, am I lying? Now, if I'm telling the truth, ladies, give me a thumbs up emoji. If I'm lying, give me a thumbs down. Simple as that. Ladies, if that's not the way you all think, because men are familiar with women telling them a woman wants to see the woman you cheated with to see if she's prettier, but they never explain to you all why they want to see that. They want to see it because they want to know if you really have the ability to pull something better than her. Because guess what?
Exactly.
You just told her what your sexual marketplace value is. And if she sees you couldn't do better than her, nigga, she's going to give you hell from here on in. Because she knows she's the best you can get. Now you just proved it to her.
What's the easy way to give a woman a friendly reminder that you still have options? And that's it for me, Jason.
Everything I just said. If you're on point,
Okay.
other females are going to signify. That's the way it is. If you're not going to get very much feedback. It's just that simple. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 949. You're on live with the business. On Zoom there, you need to put yourself on camera. If you don't, I'm going to remove you in 10 seconds. Caller from 949 area code. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Daniel from Newport Beach, California.
Okay, sounds like you are sick. I'm going to give you a minute here to take some Pepto-Bismol and get yourself feeling a little bit better here. Folks, if you're sick or unwell or whatever the case may be here, get your act together. Let me get caller from area code 267. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, yes, this is Tammy from Williamsport. Good evening. I would like to say everything you say is right. It's absolutely correct, and I see it every day. I see it with my parents. It's funny because my father, his money is not on point, and even if he's correct in certain things, my mom is always pulling rank on him because she has a cousin who's a doctor. He makes money, and she always compare him to my father, which is kind of insulting. And, he has called me and complained about it. And he really doesn't have too much control over her and her mouth. And, I see really bad people who can control their women in their homes. For instance, Tasha K had a young lady whose father used to rape her, and her stepmother knew about it. But he had so much control over her because of his status. The stepmother never even challenged him. What do you think about stuff like that, especially like evil men who have a lot of power and the females gravitate to them?
Women don't make distinctions about power. So when you hear folks talk about dark triad traits, the bottom line is women don't make those distinctions about power. A woman, I've talked about this before, a woman values a man's ability to use power, but she also knows it's not power if he can't abuse it. So understand, women's relationship and women's feelings about power are not idealistic. They're far more pragmatic than people might give them. Ma'am, that's been happening forever. And I didn't say it's right either, by the way. I did not say it's right. Mm-hmm. But what I am saying is that a woman is going to, this idea that women are idealistic about power. No, they're not. They just want to know if you got it or if you don't. Women are psychologically...
My father's in trouble.
Well, women are psychologically and biologically wired to submit to powerful males. Why? Because what she understands is he is my best protection against an outside threat. He's my best protection against the electric company, the gas company, your local madman. This guy with these ruthless traits is probably my best protection. So she's having to weigh those two things. Now, of course, you should never sacrifice your children, obviously. But what I am saying is, let's be very, very clear. There's a reason why all females, yourself included, the guys can sit up here and complain about the thugs and this, that, and the other all they want to. It hasn't stopped y'all from doing it. And it never has. Because it never will. Because it cannot. For example, I want the guys to think about something here. I've given this example over the years. It's time for me to go ahead and resurrect it. As men, you've never been a woman walking through a dark parking lot at night. As men, if you walk through a dark parking lot at night as a man, you know that potentially something bad could happen to you. Sure. You could be attacked, maybe even killed. And you're like, well, yeah, that could happen to a woman too. Yeah. But as a man, you've never been afraid that you could be attacked, sexually assaulted, and then killed, or just attacked and sexually assaulted and left there. Now, that's the one thing as a man you're not afraid of. You're afraid somebody could shoot you, but you ain't afraid that some dude is going to sit up here and have his hippopotamus way with you. You're not worried about that. I like you and I want you, so I'm going to have you. Like I say, we haven't really met that guy in real life. We wouldn't want to. But as a female, you're worried about that. That's something that is ever present for you. So what I'm saying is your way of seeing men is different than our way of seeing them. It's different. Your way of seeing a guy who is quote unquote dangerous is different than ours, because you understand that you live in a world full of sharks, and a woman is thinking, maybe I need a mad dog on my team. There's a bunch of mad dogs out here. I'm not equipped to handle none of them. So if there's a bunch of gangsters out here, if I got a gangster with me, and the square dudes don't understand, yeah, dude, I mean, you're nice, you're congenial, you're really, really polite, and in a fight, you're going to be the first one running. She doesn't actually believe that you can take care of her physical safety. So what I'm saying is that those are the things that make these traits in these males and these more edgy, dangerous parameters to it. A lot of guys just don't understand. Women have are physically and psychologically, they have a vulnerability that we don't have, or that most men don't have. Now we see more of them with it, by the way. But that's the way that they see it. So in that regard, if a woman is scared, just understand, when a woman is dealing with the world from a position of fear, guys, get this through your heads. Y'all talk about how women are damaged. If you're dealing with a female who's approaching the world from a position of fear, don't put it past her what she will do or what she will accept. If she is afraid, you all know when a person is afraid, they'll find themselves agreeing to things that may not necessarily be in their long-term best interests, but they're not thinking about the long term. They're thinking about their immediate interests. So I hope that makes more sense to the fellas.
Sorry, I was going to ask you a question.
Okay, what is your question, Timmy?
Okay, sorry. Yes, my father asked me for advice, and I told him, maybe you should get counseling or whatever. I really don't know what to do, and I don't know why he's asking me, because I don't have any experience. I can't really help him. What would you advise him? I guess, should I get him onto you?
Did you say your father's afraid of getting canceled?
No, I advised him to get marriage counseling.
Oh, counseling. Okay, baby. This second generation immigrant English. Okay, counseling. I don't trust counseling. I've never seen a counselor who got any good, so they'd have to get a very good one. I'd want to see results from them, but typically I haven't seen that work. The bottom line is, if your masculinity is not up to code, that's something that your mother has to live with, and that's the consequences he has to live with. A counselor can't make you a man.
Right.
That's the bottom line. A counselor can't make you a man. So if he refuses to develop that type of assertiveness, what you gonna do? Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me go back here and take area code 949. Let's see if you've woken up here. You're on Live with the Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Daniel from Newport Beach, California.
Daniel from Newport Beach. What's on your mind?
I think this is a great topic. I just feel like there needs to be a distinction between being a boyfriend to a girl, being a husband, and then being a sugar daddy.
But there's no distinction. There's no distinction between being a man, though. A man has to be. A man's not going to be in charge of any of those positions. If a fella can't be in charge of any of those positions you just named, if he ain't a man. Husband, boyfriend, sugar daddy. It doesn't matter if he is not taking the lead. If he's seen it as a 50-50 position, it doesn't matter what title you give him. He's going to lose. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 817. You're on Live with the Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 817,
Hello.
last try. You're on live.
Hello, this Slang, Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, this fella's calling us on his Vonage phone. Try again. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Slang, Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, Lord. Slang in Fort Worth. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, a lot of people be saying that females are, they mature more than men, faster rather. And I believe that they just got more access to grown up things quicker than men. Like growing up, when I was younger, like the dudes couldn't get a girl that was 14 because the dudes that's like 20 with a car getting all the girls and stuff like that. They thinking about having kids and all that. They playing with dolls and stuff like that, thinking about a family and all of that, while we playing with basketballs. And when me and my girl moved down here from Flint, Michigan to Texas, it was different for her because it was looking like a bigger life. But when we were in Flint, Michigan, she was like, she was happier and stuff like that. But when she came down here, she had to work. And she turned into like a bitch all of a sudden because she had to work. And I'm like, okay, this is what we got to do to survive down here. It's a bigger,
Slang.
you know, like the rent costs more down here.
Slang.
And she wasn't trying to understand. Yes.
Because a lot of these people, my audience has grown since the last time we spoke to you here. By the way, Slang, how many children do you have?
In their house now, there is 2. The other 2 are in Arizona. And it's
all right.
yeah.
Okay. And by how many different women do you have children, Slang?
I have 1 child with 1 woman, just her. Same one I'm with.
Okay. And what's our yearly income now, Slang?
Well, I'm at the same job, but now I've been taking more advantage of the overtime. It's pretty much unlimited. And so I'll say I get more like around about $55,000 to $60,000 a year. I work at a distribution center down here, and it's $21.35 an hour that I make. And so, I mean, it's pretty good. I was working at Dollar General in Flint, Michigan, making $9.15 an hour, and it's a whole lot better here. But the way that she acts here is different because, like, when she had to start working, that's when she started talking a whole lot of mess, like just being so angry. But it's like when I bossed myself up more and got my money up more, and she started falling off because she wasn't used to working, that's when she seemed to really start showing me more respect, because it's like she realized she can't handle this type of shit like I can, and I'm a train. I don't stop.
Slang.
I'm always working. Yeah.
How many kids does your woman have?
Well, a total of 4.
And how many of those kids are yours?
1.
All right. Anyway, go ahead and finish telling us about how she's been disrespectful since she got down there.
Yeah, well, it's like since she got down here, I like helped her get a car and stuff like that, but she don't like keep up with the bill on it and stuff like that. Like I still gotta help her keep up with the bill on the car, because you no good out here without a car in Texas. You need a car, so I make sure that me and her got a car, so that we can both get jobs and keep a job. I've been keeping my job, but she find reasons to like lose her job all the time. It seemed like to me she was working at the same job I was at, but she got into a fight up there with some girl over a spot in line over the bathroom. And then she got like 3 more jobs. That happened last year in December, 2 weeks before Christmas, and she got a couple more jobs. And it's like, I don't like this person over here. The manager mean, and or they work too hard and all of this. It's always something. And it's and I've been holding it down over here, but it's like I'm trying to get her on board to just right now. She is actually at a job right now, but I'm wondering what the next excuse is going to be. She just like she's just not. I don't know what it is. She just can't work or something. I don't know what the hell. But
He don't
I've
know.
been doing
He
this.
don't know what it is. All right, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Slang. Yeah. He don't know what it is. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what it is. He don't know. He's not sure. Jason, let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. All right. Okay. Now they're like, Jason, shut him up. Shut him up. No. Y'all said let him talk. We're going to let him talk. Okay. Well, he don't know what it is, y'all. He don't know. He's still trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out what's the missing link. He doesn't know. He's not sure where he turned wrong. He's not sure. All right. Let me get called from area code 954. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Brother Jason? This is Marcellus out of Fort Lauderdale.
Marcel's out of Fort Lauderdale. What's on your mind?
I just want to acknowledge, man, this is a great, great show. There's not many people out here talking to, the brothers like this, especially the young brothers. I'll be 29 next month. So it's always good to, just have that reminder of how a man should step. You definitely have to pay the cost to be the boss. And I'm definitely glad that you are upholding that narrative. And, as far as that last caller goes, I understand fully why you say you got to watch out for these old niggas.
Well, like I say, Slang is a fellow who has invited a lot of struggle in his life. Water seeks its own level, and Slang was just, it was a trickle on the floor. So it's just, he got in where he fit in, and it's just been calamity ever since. So he don't know what to do at this point. He's just, he don't know what to do. So.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, I just got one question for you, man. I just got one question before I go. How I'm trying to maneuver in my personal life. I'm aiming for mid 30s to really start building a family for myself. What do you recommend, for a young brother who doesn't have any children, is, saving, building a career, things of that nature? What age range would you prescribe?
What, to start a family?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I addressed that earlier here and last week. For you fellas today here, you need more life experiences. So really, I'm not going to recommend you do that until you're making well north of $60,000, because you need to have your finances together. Otherwise, you have nothing, no leverage, nothing to deal with. And if you haven't conquered the world around you, I would be a fool to think you can handle a woman and children. But your late 30s at the very soonest, and maybe more likely when you're 40, because you need more life experience, more preparation. 25 is not going to make it anymore. Not unless you just found the right chick, and everybody thinks they found the right one. Everybody does. And then that little quiet, soft, demure little chick show you she's a snake, and it's like, oh, hell. Yeah, because you didn't have enough life experience. So today, I'm just being realistic about it. You are dealing with the slickest, savviest, most cunning generation of females ever in the history of man. Ever. And they've got a bunch of life experiences that they've racked up very, very early that you haven't. They've been dealing with grown men while you were in high school. So you don't have that. You don't have the experience of dealing with grown women when you're in high school. If you did, then you would be on an even playing field with her. But you don't. So you don't have the option she's had as early as she had. So she's racked up a bunch of baggage. And what I'm saying is, it doesn't necessarily make her smarter than you, because she's not smarter. But what I am saying is that she's going to, most likely what's happening is by the time you get to her, she's approaching you with the attitude of, okay, let me get him before he gets me. So that's where I need to get my own house and my own car come from, because she's like, okay, in her mind, she makes the simple-minded, erroneous calculus that what gave him advantages over me was money, so I need more control. So then she starts trying to control more things in her life, and you're not recognizing those coping mechanisms for what they are. bruh, she wants control. And if she gets with you, she gonna want control. And I don't give a damn how she starts. Women know full well nobody's gonna marry me acting like Lizzo. So a woman knows, no, you can't do that. So you gotta try to fake it and hopefully get him down the altar soon enough, which is why I tell you all, even if you do get, if you're with a female and you want to marry her, it takes about 6 months to decide that this is the one, but you still need to wait another 2 years. Well, why? Shout out to the Rolo and his friends over there and whatnot. They're quoting me. They're saying this phrase now. She can't be fake for 2 or 3 years. She's not going to be able to be fake that long. So the negative characteristics, she can hide it for a couple of months maybe, but she's not going to be able to hide it for 2 years. You're going to see them. Now, whether you overlook them is a different matter, but you give her, and it's not going to take 2 years. But what I'm saying is 2 years of you crap testing her and making sure she qualifies and seeing how she deals with adversity. You're going to see whether it's real or whether it's not. And when you see it's not, if you see something that's not real, take it at face value. Take it at face value. Don't sit up here and tell yourself that's not real. It is. And once you see it, accept that, and that's it. As you get older, it's going to get to a point where you can just look at a chick and just in me, you're going to be like, damn, have I got my pimp jeans on? Yeah, you really do. Because you'll be able to look at the chick and tell her whole life story by looking at her face. To all the fellas in here who are over the age of 40, the majority of us, we can tell a female's whole damn life story. We can tell everywhere she's been and everything she done did just by looking at her face. We can just look at her face and, I can tell where you been, what you done, body count, everything. But that comes with time and experience. And yes, I mean, literally, we can just take a look at her. If we can take a look at her from head to toe, if she starts walking, I can tell you everywhere she's been and everything she's done. And you can see that happen when females call me up. Yeah, that's a lifetime of experience talking. There are no new women. This is just your first time meeting her. Now, if you meet enough of them, you basically are going to get to a point where it's like, oh, baby, I met you 5 or 6 times before now. You can't pull anything over on me. I met you 5 or 6 times. Already. So get yourself together, get yourself savvy. I'm not saying that you can't deal with females. I'm just saying as far as marriage and children, wait till you can do it from a position of strength. You need life experiences so you can properly vet the female. You need to have your money together so you can properly take care of your family, but also so you can have leverage to make sure that nonsense doesn't ensue. And if it does, you're in a position to handle it properly. And that's the way to do it there. Thank you very much for giving us a call here today. No, I would not suggest any of you. I do not recommend any male get married in his 20s. Not anymore. The world has changed. The game has changed. The court system is viciously against you. The media is absolutely against you. Her family and environment are all getting together to conspire, and everybody is talking about you and how they can get over on you. Nobody's talking about getting over on her. They're all looking at you and saying, what do I got to do to get over on him? The mamas are getting together. The aunties are getting together. None of them are telling her, baby, you should be lucky you got what you got. They're all saying, no. Here's how you can get over on him. I got a friend who works at the state building. I know an attorney. I know some nurses. That's what you're dealing with today. So no, 50-50 ain't going to work for you. It's not going to work. Caller from area code 708. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hakeem from Chicago. What up, Jason?
All right, Hakeem from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, you so on point right now. When I was with a lady for like 7 to 8 years. Man, I ain't gonna even lie. I acknowledge I'm 40 now, but I was, man, unskilled in how to handle women. I was giving her everything she wanted. We had high rise downtown. I'm spending all my money, and it still wasn't the respect level there because I was giving in to her. But it wasn't until, and then towards the end, I started listening to you, listening to the other brother Tariq, getting game. And then once I started to change stuff around, it's like once you build this monster and you giving in to them, even if you in a relationship and then you start to switch stuff up, they can't even handle that. So it got to the point where we was arguing consistently because I started to change up. Like, no, I'm not doing this. She just started hearing, no, nah, I don't want to do that. That's not how we gonna do this. And it wasn't until I started getting around grown men. I was smoking cigars in the cigar lounge. One of the brothers told me, at a young age, women have all the leverage. But as you get older as a man, you got your money right, your credit is right, you're working, you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, and you are a competent, intelligent man. Now you can go out here and you can school a woman. But once all that started to happen, man, I swear everything just switched up, and we not together anymore. I'm married now, but it was just like, even after you get the game and you start switching up, it's like she couldn't take it. She was like, who is this dude? Like, cause I gave into everything she wanted. I gave her everything she wanted. Just simply, man.
Well, the real thing is, you got to understand, when you make radical changes, a woman doesn't know, especially if that's the way you've been the whole time. She doesn't know if that's the real you. She doesn't know if that's just somebody who's puffed you up and got you brave. So understand, if a man makes radical changes, a woman's going to test that. She is going to test that because she doesn't know if that's the real you, especially if she's been with you for a number of years. She's like, no, I've already met the real you. Now you switch up. She's like, oh no, you trying to fake it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to fall for it. Mm-hmm. So just understand, it's going to be an uphill climb at that point, because now she feels she doesn't know if that's the real you or not. She thinks that's somebody in your ear. And if I just lean on him long enough, well, he'll knuckle under.
I leveled up though. I started to, like I said, but you know what? Early on in the relationship, I wasn't at a level I was supposed to be. I was young, in my 20s. So I was always kept a job, always working, doing stuff, and had a couple dollars, but it was just my mind wasn't there on how to handle a woman correctly and set the stage. Like, you gotta be the thermometer and not, you know what I'm saying, you gotta set the tone of the relationship, and I didn't understand that. And I swear, once I got around older men just schooling me and telling me how things were supposed to be, how you're supposed to carry yourself, because I didn't get that at a young age. And I go to like, I'm around older men I go to my men's meeting that I have, and I hear these old men talking about they still just say yes to their wife so they can have peace at home. And I'm just like, how can you live 20, 30 years and all you doing is saying yes so you can have peace and she'll stop
because
the truth you? I was like,
because the truth of the matter is that most men, particularly the baby boomer generation, most of them are betas. Most men are beta. Let's be very, very clear. Alphas are a woeful minority of the male population. That's why 80% of the females are chasing 20% of the guys. Alphas are rare. Betas are the rule. Alphas are the exception. Men who are in charge of their lives, men who have direction, men who are assertive, men who don't let women boss them around and whatnot, those are rare. Most women are accustomed to the idea that all she got to do, no matter how she might look. I mean, why in the world do you think you got all these twerk videos out here everywhere? Women are accustomed to the idea all they got to do is shake some butt cheeks and they're going to get benefits. They're going to get deference. You're going to back down. That's what they're accustomed to. So it takes a man to prove that's not what he's doing. But understand, the older generation, those are just a bunch of betas. So there's only so much you can listen to them. For the most part, their way of dealing with life is submitting to her. And then you ask them about their experiences, and they're all usually universally very negative in the ending. So he's just a guy who's just finally just said, well, screw it, she's the best I can do. Let me just knuckle down and buckle in, and what you have is an old man who this disrespectful broad is the best he can do because he never got himself together properly, and an old woman who this underachieving old dude is the best she can do. So she's bitter and surly, and then they just basically limp through life together. And when you think about it, that's probably the way it belongs. An underachiever needs to be with a nag, and a nag needs to be with an underachiever. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 972. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
B1, Mr. Black. My name is D. I'm calling out of Richmond, Texas.
D. Richmond, what's on your mind?
I just want to get straight to your topic. I think it's great. 50-50 is a fail. I would say I was confused early on in my relationship. I just only ever seen 50-50, but I thought it was more of a thing where it's like, you know, the males do our portion, take out the trash, pay the bills, etc., and the women do theirs, cook, clean, take care of the kids. And when I got with my woman and I put this to work, it was a pain. I'm like, man, something ain't working. And then when I listened to your broadcast, light bulb went off. It's like, because my whole life I've always did things how I wanted to do and how I think they should intend to be. And when I kind of did this 50-50 with my lady, I switched that up. And I just told her, like, look, this is what we have to do to make these things work.
Well, having a plan and having a goal, and then having the decisiveness and assertiveness to A, articulate it, and B, insist on it, that's actually more rare than it seems. That is actually a minority of the males today. So a lot of them are frustrated, and understandably so, but that's what they've bought into. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get called from area code 816. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Stormy Weather. I'm calling from Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, hello, Stormy Weather. I'm so glad I didn't have to ban you.
Well, I just wanted to say on
a middle-aged
this particular
chuckle
topic,
right.
I don't know that 50-50 relationships are, all doomed for failure, but I will say they are difficult. I am in a 50-50 marriage, and it's hard. He's a great guy. But actually, I wouldn't even say it's 50-50 because I make quite a bit more than he does. And
there you go.
Periods of
unemployment. There it is.
Employment.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Uh-huh.
It's hard even with a great guy.
Yep.
To, see him as the man.
For those of y'all in the comments,
household.
if you want to know now why she was talking so silly and crazy on my previous video comments, this is her life, by the way. It's like, now she on calling, it's like, yeah, you in the struggle is what it is. So you talking from a position of make-believe and struggling. So if you want to know why she was talking like that, yeah, this is why I want them to call in. It literally takes 2 seconds in the comment section. You can't see their life. They call in, it's like, oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah,
that has nothing to do with it.
It got everything. Yes, it got everything. Yes, it's got everything to do with it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What you said was absolutely silly. Yes, it does have everything. Your position in your life is exactly why you were saying that nonsense. It sure is. Yes, it is. This explains everything. And by the way, furthermore, you know this already. This isn't even a revelation. You know this already. When a woman comes in deflecting, that is the product of a life that didn't go the way she thought it was going to go.
I don't think it's deflecting because a month ago you did a show about the shortage of high producing men.
But that's irrelevant.
Video talking about women buying.
But that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant if you don't qualify for one. You're trying to get something above. For those of you who don't know, what she said was, where are the competent men to marry and buy houses with? Have they all disappeared? For women like you? Yes.
I already have a house.
Yeah, and you got to hump it. But the bottom line, no, you have to hump it for yourself. That's the competent men. We do donuts to get around you. We swerve around women like you. So that's why you ask such a silly question. Where are they at? We're out here perfectly fine. We're just avoiding females like you. That's the whole point. And by the way, you already know that too.
No, they're not avoiding me.
Stormy,
I mean, of course I've married,
how
so I'm
old?
not
Stormy, how
looking.
old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
There you go. Stormy, one more time. How old are you?
I'm 46.
Okay. As I said, that's what you qualify for. The man you're with, you got complaints and you're stuck with it. Yeah, the competent men who wouldn't give you those complaints, we don't go for women like you. We don't. So what you said, where are they at?
Okay,
We're avoiding women like you. We're looking for somebody who's going to be less of a headache and less of a problem. So you got in where you fit in. You're the breadwinner. You're the heavy hitter. Your relationship, you know, he is not your financial or socioeconomic peer. From what you said on this phone already, you obviously do not look up to him nor admire him. There isn't anything you admire or look up to about him. You just with him because, well, I got a husband. Yeah, and she's so proud of it that she doesn't have anything good to say. And that's the best she can get.
I said he's a good man. So there's
no,
that I admire about
what makes him a good man?
His character.
What does that mean?
He's a good husband. He's a good father. He's a good Christian. I mean, his character. He's honest. He has integrity. And he's good at what he does. But what he does doesn't pay, the kind of money that my employment pays.
Okay, and does his lack of financial and social productivity outweigh those other being a good Christian and being an honest good Christian?
It does when he's unemployed, or
yeah, there you go. So I didn't say there's a problem with him. I didn't say there's a problem with him. He's a good man. I didn't say there's a problem with him. Jason, you make it up. He's a good man. Okay, what makes him a good man? He a Christian. He honest, and he a good father. Okay, does that outweigh his lack of productivity? Not really. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now let me explain to you what was wrong and silly about what you said. And I'm not being mean to you. I'm just telling you what God loved. Let me tell you what's wrong and silly about what you said. What's wrong and silly about what you said is that, did you notice that when you said his character, he's a good man, do you notice what you were naming? You were naming intangibles. You cannot measure an intangible. That's why your comments in the chat before were silly, because you were talking about tangibles, which is a man who is competent and can buy a house. That's a tangible thing. When I asked you what makes your man valuable to you, you immediately went to intangibles that cannot be quantified nor measured, which means you can't tell me how good he's a good Christian compared to who? Tell me, what is the quality of his Christianity? You can't tell me. It can't be measured. It's not something you can actually say, well, this is an 80% good Christian. This is a 75%. So I've got an 80. I'm doing good. Mine's 80%. He's 5% better than the average. You can't do that. Well, he's a good father. Okay, good compared to who? Scott Peterson? Okay, all right, fine. He didn't put the kids in the bathtub. But that's not the standard, isn't that? That's not the standard. Because you see, if his children are struggling... you don't give a damn how, quote, good of a Christian he is. He's not a good enough Christian that his children ain't struggling. If you're talking, how many kids do you all have?
He has children from a previous marriage, and they're adults at this point.
Okay. How many children the two of you have?
We don't have any children together.
How long you been married to him?
5 years.
Oh, he don't fool with you for real.
What?
So you walked in the door with a guy who was never going to have children with you, and then you wondering why you paying most of the bills.
I wasn't interested in having children.
And that's the reason you're paying most of the bills. You have no leverage. A man's leverage is his productivity. A woman's leverage is the ability to make a family with a man. You didn't have the ability to do that, so therefore he got the better part of the deal. He's married to you, and if y'all got divorced tomorrow, guess who's going to pay alimony?
There wouldn't be any alimony payments, and we're not getting divorced.
Okay, no, only if you can keep him from divorcing you. But if he divorced you and decides to get alimony, what's to stop him?
he wouldn't be.
Okay,
interested in
if
doing
he
anything
decide,
like that.
but what's to stop him if he wanted to?
I guess nothing. if
There
he
you
wanted
go.
to.
All right. See, all this denial talk, which you were doing the other day too, by the way, these folks who argue against reality is still 2 + 2 is always going to equal 4. You can't troll or argue your way out of reality. That guy got you at 40-something years old. He already had his children. So we got fellas out here who are so damn beta, they're doing the damn reverse single mom thing. They're doing the reverse single mom thing. He came to you with 2 kids. Let's get married. And I ain't going to have no more children. What he's telling you is I'm not going to get entangled to you. I've already put in my
No, he
time.
actually wanted to have children.
Ma'am, okay, well, if he did.
He wanted to have
if
children.
he
I
did,
didn't.
okay, then you screwed yourself. You're brilliant. That was a real brilliant move of you. You screwed yourself. Because now all he gets from you, tell me, what is he going to get from you that he can't get from another woman? Name one thing that he's getting from you that he can't get from another woman. Name one.
A good wife.
Man, there are plenty of good women who are good wives out there. Try again. And by the way, how do we measure how good of a wife you are? Tell me how we can physically measure its quality.
Okay, that's another intangible.
Oh, there you go. All right, so her whole life is built on valuing intangibles, but she's mad as hell about the rent. That rent ain't intangible. That electric bill ain't intangible. This car repair isn't intangible. By the way, just out of curiosity, because you said you make a lot more than he does, I'm not going to ask you what you make. I know it's south of $100,000 a year. Here's the real issue. You're 46 years old. How much is in your 401k?
Around 40,000.
40,000. You're 46 years old and you have 40,000 in your 401k. You'll be able to retire when you're 80. You're gonna work till work till you die. Because the man you're with might as well not even be there. This is how damn serious it is. It ain't a joke. It is not a joke. And you're 46 and single, and how much money are you able to save every year for disposable income and put into your savings account?
Every year, maybe 3,000.
Okay, and you know why? How long ago did you buy that house?
Oh, when I was in my 20s.
Yep. There you go.
23 or 24.
I was 23. And is the house paid off yet?
No.
Did you do a refi?
Yes.
How much longer you got to pay? Because, by the way, for all the dumbasses out there, you can refinance. That's restarting the clock again. Some of y'all are so monumentally stupid. No wonder so many people today are so in such financial bad shape. They don't even know the basics. How much time did you put back on that clock?
I still have another 20 years probably.
So she was going to have this thing paid off in the next 7 years. Now she's reset the clock back to when she was 30. Think about that for a few moments. Think about that for a few moments. She's 46. She reset the clock so she pays it off by the time she's 66. So she will have spent her entire working life, practically most of her life, paying for that house. A house that is not getting in better condition as time goes on. This isn't Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. Think about that for a few moments. By the way, the man you with now, does he own a house?
No.
Hell no to the no. Yeah, you wonder. I'm reading the mail over here, and you know what? He's not going to. You know why? Did he own the house with his ex-wife? Did he own the house with her?
Yes.
Okay, and you know what? He walked in the door dealing with y'all the way the females do. Ladies, y'all have created your own monsters here. You met a fellow who said, "I'm gonna get her before she gets me." So he comes in a weaker position, which actually puts you over a barrel because you needed a man, and that's it. Now he's got you over a barrel. He got you before you could get him. So you're sitting, and by the way, is he living in your house with you?
Yes.
No wonder she was in the chat, and no wonder she was in the comments section talking silly, y'all. If you want to know where that came from, it came from this right here. She got another 20 years to pay in the damn house. What's your monthly note?
Just a little over $700 a month.
Okay, how much is the house worth? What was your sale price originally on that house 23 years ago?
$45,000. It's a little house in an older neighborhood.
Wait a minute. You bought a $45,000 house in the year 2000.
It wasn't 2000. It was in the late 90s. But it wasn't 2000.
Okay,
mid to late 90s.
Okay, I thought you said you paid 23 years on it. You're going to have it paid off in a 30-year mortgage minus 7 years is 23. So you're looking at 19. I'm saying about 2000, 2099, about 1999. You said you added 20 years to the mortgage. When did you originally buy the house? Because you said you had 7 more years to go.
It was in the mid to late 90s.
Okay, and you've been paying all this time since Tupac got killed. Now, according to what you said, because I
refinanced it.
You said you've been paying 23 years so far. So that's not hard to figure out. If you originally had a 30-year mortgage, it's not hard to figure out. 1999, 98 at the latest. But the bottom line is, ma'am, you've been paying for a $45,000 house. You didn't have that thing paid off already? You must have had some horrible terms.
Well, I don't know that I had horrible terms. I mean, my rate was high, which is part of the reason why I refinanced, but I needed to do some repairs and things to it as well.
Okay, but ma'am, that's not the point I'm making here, though. What I'm saying, though, is that do you understand how long that is, ma'am? Right now, you're paying $700 a month, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to be paying for 20 years, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's 240 months. For those of you who want to know why it was my last program about the wealth killer was so groundbreaking, is because most of you all do not understand that you're only looking at the sale price of the house, and then they give you a mortgage and say, hey, this is lower than your rent. Most of you never actually did the basic math of saying, by the way, I'm not paying in years, I'm paying in months. If I'm paying $1,000 a month for a 30-year mortgage, how many months are in 30 years? 360. Well, when you do the math on that, you're like, well, I'll be damned. The house is $250,000, but after that mortgage, I'm going to pay $360,000 or more, depending on what your interest rate is. Ma'am, I just did the math on yours. Do you realize that 240 months times $700 is $168,000?
Well, yeah, I had all that.
So let me get this straight.
Calculated when I refinanced.
There was you got a $45,000 house that's going to cost you well over $168,000, depending on how much you put in before you did the refi. That's some hellified math.
That was when I originally.
How much is the house? Yeah. If you sold the house today, how much would it sell for on the open market? This older house in the older neighborhood.
Well, I mean, it's been many years, so it's appreciated quite a bit. Now it's like 100. It's worth like 100 and I think 65,000.
And you've probably put in north of 200,000 so far. Well north. And I'm being generous. What was your payment before you refied?
It was low. It was like a little over 400 a month.
And you did your refi after 20 years?
Oh, no. That's including insurance and all that. The mortgage payment is like $5.
No, I'm talking about the payment you were making every month on that house before you refinanced it.
A little over 400.
Okay, and how many years were you making that $400 payment?
It was a 30-year mortgage.
Okay, how many years did you make it before you refied? Because you said 23, so let's get that straight. You said you had 23 years, and then you was like, I was going to have it paid off in 7 years.
Yeah, it probably was about 23 years.
Okay. So even under generous terms, if you paid for 20 years before you did the refi on it, and even if you were doing just, I'm going to knock off 3 years now, just where we were before, you do realize that's $96,000 that you already paid before you refinanced it. $96,000 plus the $168,000 you signed up for. That's $264,000. That's a fantastic $45,000 house.
Well, maybe so, but we do have to have some place to live. And had I not bought the house and just lived in an apartment somewhere, I would have paid more than that.
Okay, a woman who is willing to make this horrendous of a financial decision about a house, she's a woman who makes impulsive decisions and just wants to be in charge and in control. And a man has to ask himself, does he want to permanently handcuff himself to somebody of that personality who just wants to be in control? Because this house is obviously a huge disadvantage, but there's only one thing this house does give her: control. Yeah, she got control of a bad situation, but she controls it. And by the way, that was 1998. Were you married since 1998?
No.
So you've never been married?
I mean, I'm married now, so I've been married.
Okay, I said you've never been
years.
married, though. You've never had any children?
No.
Never been married, never had any children. You do realize that's every red flag known to man.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought the red flag was not being married and having children.
No, man.
So,
once you get past a certain age, if men have not taken you off the market by the time you're 30, that's our way of signifying to other men, this woman is a problem. Doesn't matter how cute she looks, this woman is a problem. When men leave you on the market like that, that's our way of signifying to other fellas, this is a problem. Because why would they? If you were such a hot ticket, men compete for women who are not a problem. If you're not a problem, men are supposed to be competing for you. If they're not, they're signifying, yeah, this is a problem.
Okay.
As men, we all know that. If she's over the age of 30 and not married, yeah, there's a reason that fellas are bypassing. And what I'm saying is, just this mortgage alone tells me your life story. There's only one reason a woman would make such a horrendous decision. She just wants control. And what I'm saying is, there's only one type of man who's going to let a woman control him. The kind you got. Now, that guy will let you do that. But then again, it's advantageous to him. Oh, yeah, one more question. Has he ever cheated on you? And be honest. Be honest. No. Keep it real.
No.
Why wouldn't he?
Not that I'm actually, I'm positive he has not.
Why do you say that?
I'm just positive.
Well, he looks. He must be built like Big Pun. Is he built like Big Pun or something here? How do you figure that? Because you said he's unemployed. That gives him nothing but time to run around.
He's a nice looking guy. He's in good shape.
Okay, a nice looking guy who's occasionally unemployed. And you think you're the only woman he's ever slept with since y'all got married?
Yes. And I'm not talking, well, I mean, most of the unemployment was losing his job during COVID when lots of people lost their job. I was saying unemployment and underemployment, but no.
Okay, but clearly you are not satisfied with his level of performance, so you can just stop with the excuses and explaining. You ain't happy with any of it. Is he a skilled worker?
That's true. No.
There you go. So in the chat room, Amin has already said there, this guy was trading on intangibles and personality traits, and you allowed him to do it. And that's why he did it. So what I'm saying is, there are men out there who do that. But ma'am, since 1998, the attitude that you exude, that's going to make a man who's got something to lose is not going to sit up here and invest in that. We're too old for that. We see it from a mile away. She just wants to be in charge. She wants to be in control. Do I really want to shackle myself to somebody who just wants to run me? Simply because she wants to run you. These are unresolved childhood issues. She ain't resolved them. She wants to get married to me so she can run me. Let me go ahead and see if we can lay up. But I'm not going to put her in a position to have me over a barrel. I'm not going to do that. So this is why, if you want to understand something here, ladies, let's just be real about it here. Y'all can only have children by bums if you're going to be a single mom, because sensible men are not going to let you do that. So when the females realize they run out of options, they go get a bum that they can dominate. And then they spend the rest of their lives complaining and blaming him for the years that she threw away, when in reality, if you would settle your ass down and submit it to a man with some sense, you'd have a better life. Because let me tell you something right now, ma'am. I've got, most of the folk in the chat room here, we got vehicles that cost more than your house did originally. Some of the folk here listening to me right now got vehicles that are more expensive than you paid in mortgage. So what I'm saying here is that a man with his act together wouldn't let you be in this situation, baby. Think about this for a few moments. $264,000, that's your damn retirement. You're supposed to have that $45,000 house paid off and then keep the other $220,000 left over. You're supposed to have 220 G's in your retirement account, not 40.
Well, I agree.
You're $180,000 short because you wanted to do it your way. And what I'm saying is, you're 46 years old here right now. And by the way, I got to go there. I got to go there. The car you're driving, what year is it?
Oh, this is, I don't know. I think it's a 2010.
Make and model?
He bought this car. So, it's a Chevy Equinox.
2010 Chevy Equinox. I hope it's not in the dealership too much. Those things got a reputation. So I hope it's not in there too much. You said that he bought it?
Yes. Actually, we haven't had any issues with it. So
you're the only one. You're the only one in America who hasn't. So take care. Whatever his magic touch is, hold on to it. You might want to stay married to him. What I will tell you here is, when did he buy it?
I'm sorry?
When did he buy it?
Maybe 3 years ago.
So he bought you a 2010 Equinox 3 years ago.
Yeah.
How old is this gentleman today?
50.
What does he drive?
A Expedition, a Ford Expedition. I don't know what year it is, but it's older than this Equinox.
And can we just keep it real? And by the way, I thank you for your candor, but can we keep it real? Did you think that this was the way the cards were going to play out by the time you were 46?
No.
Did you think that this was going to be the best guy you could get by the time you were 46?
No.
And what I'm saying is, he knows you can't get better, so he's producing at the level that he is, but he knows you don't really have any leverage. That's the issue with a woman being difficult. Ladies, I don't say these things because it sounds cute. I don't say it because it's misogynistic. I don't say it because it's self-serving. I'm saying it because if you were my daughter, and I don't have any biological children, but if you were my daughter, I would not give you this advice. I don't want you to be in that situation at 40 and 46. So it's like, okay, we got to make the right moves at 20 and 22 and 25. And even if it doesn't go the way we planned there, we got to be in a certain position to be ready. You got to be a chick that men who are producers are fighting for to get off the market when you're 25 and 27. They're supposed to be out here fighting to get you. And if you on point, they're going to get you. Now, what city were you living in 20 years ago?
The same city.
What happened?
Well, I bought this house, and it kind of kept me stuck here.
Okay, now, for your phone,
I probably would have fared.
Now, where's that area code you're calling from?
816?
Yes.
This is Kansas City.
Okay, you've been in Kansas City all this time.
Yes.
And you're still there now.
Yes.
Is this man black?
Yes.
Is he mixed black or he's black?
He's black.
Okay. Well, what I will say here is, under these circumstances and stuff, like I say, if has he been staying consistently employed for the last couple of years here?
I mean, well, no, because he lost his job after COVID started, and that was within the last couple of years.
Well, you
But
mentioned
he has
no,
a new job now.
man. Okay, that was 2 years ago. The outbreak was 2 years ago. What about the last 12 months?
Let's see. He was employed part of that time temporarily, but he has a new full-time job now.
Okay, how long has he been on that?
A couple of months.
Ma'am, are you driving to Xanadu? She keep hitting that turn signal. You must be making the block over and over again. So, are you all right out there?
I'm fine.
She done hit that turn signal about 50 times, baby. You must live over the water and through the woods. So it's every 20 feet she's making a left. So I'm like, either she's making a block, somebody's following you, or that $45,000 house is in the woods somewhere. Like, was it Hansel and Gretel's house? I mean, she is heavy on that turn signal, y'all. Left, right, left, right. This is suspicious activity. I hope the police don't pull you over. This is suspicious. This is probable cause. She must be transporting illegals. She going left, right, every coming. Okay, let me make this turn. Go down this street right here. Make another left. Then go down this other. Make another right. And then do a U-turn. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, like I say, she needs to make as much money as she can between that mortgage and gas, because you've been steady driving. So you are in that 2010 Equinox. It ain't saving nothing on gas. She's steady driving. However, what I will say here is, like I say, definitely, I want this to be a cautionary tale. I want this to be a cautionary tale in this regard, because can we just keep it real? This was the last train leaving. I mean, like I say, you all know how I feel about this kind of stuff here. I don't ever tell anybody to leave who they're with or whatever, because I ain't going to snuggle up with you. But the bottom line is that's the last train leaving. So I certainly don't recommend you do something really stupid, like, get divorced or something dumb. I really don't suggest you do that. That would be unintelligent.
I'm not looking to do that.
Okay. But what you are saying here, though, in all honesty, though, like I say, these numbers are numbers. These numbers are numbers. Like, for example, think about this for a few moments. I want to ask you, when's the last time you've been on vacation?
It was before COVID.
Where'd you go?
Let's see, we went to Houston that year. We went to Charleston.
How many days?
And Miami. So.
How many days?
All within the U.S. I think we were in Charleston for probably a week. We were in Miami for a week. Houston was a weekend.
Where'd you stay at in Miami?
We stayed down on South Beach.
For the whole week?
Yep. It was pricey.
Where? Yeah. No. Where on South Beach, man? Where?
I don't know the name of it. It was one of those little Art Deco hotels. I mean, they're not national chains. They're just, I don't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Because it's not a national chain type of a hotel.
And I want you to think about that for a few moments. Because if it had been a really great, memorable experience, you would be able to tell me exactly where you were. Because that's the way that works. When you have had a wonderful, memorable experience, you can remember exactly where you were, exactly what hotel. You remember all of it because it was a great experience.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, it's so great you can't remember where you were. You were there for a whole week. It's so great that if you needed to go back, you couldn't tell anybody where you were.
Well, yeah. I could easily look it up.
Yeah, I could easily look it up. But if it really made an impression on you, you would remember it. Because if you had a terrible time, you could definitely go to Yelp and tell people it was awful. It was such a great experience, you can't even remember what it was. When you went to Charleston, where did you stay there?
I do remember that one. I think it was called the Town and Country Inn.
Yep.
And it was a very nice hotel, too.
Town and Country Inn is nice?
Yes.
All right. Just out of curiosity, just between you and me, not being condescending here. Let me be very, very clear to anybody. I'll ban you if you say I am. I'm not being condescending. I'm trying to find out something here. Literally. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a place that you wanted to go?
As a destination?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
There's some places that I still want to go. Still want to go to Paris. Still want to go to South Africa. Those are probably the two biggest places I'd like to go.
Okay. Well, definitely, in under those circumstances and stuff, like I say, I want to see people live their best life. I do. I want to see them live their best life. And it ultimately comes down to our years, man. We've only got a limited number of years on this earth. You're not going to get more. So we got to treat them valuably. We got to treat them right. And there are too many folks out here who don't treat it with that type of seriousness. And what I'm looking at is at the age of 46, I'm trying to determine how many vacations is she going to be able to take? How much? Nobody ever dies saying they wish they had spent more time at the office, except that one fella. There is one fella who put that on his tombstone. I wish I'd have spent more time at the office. His life must have sucked. But in any case, I'm just saying, do you love your job? You're 46 years old. Do you love your job enough to stay there for another 30 years of dedicated employment?
Probably not.
Okay, that's not a probably, ma'am. Do you see yourself showing up for 50 weeks a year for the next 30 years with a smile on your face, being as equally energetic, dedicated, and committed to this as you are now?
I mean, not in my current position. If I moved up, I mean, I'm a federal employee, so if I moved up,
so it's contingent upon a slot.
Levels.
It's contingent upon a slot for you to move up in, but this isn't something that you would do even for the same amount of money. Yeah.
You mean no raises, the exact same amount of money that I make right now?
Do you love what you do? Do you have a passion for what you do?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's cut past the bull jive. So, in other words, this job is going to have to fuel all of your future ambitions. How long you been working for the federal government?
About 7 years.
Yeah. So for anybody who's thinking, well, Jason, she's probably been working for him for a while. No, she hasn't. She started the house, the mortgage, and her job. Both of them are running concurrent now. So something happened to you 7 years ago that made you refinance that house.
Yeah, I needed to get the repairs and things done.
Okay. Yeah, but you started working for a new job around the same time, too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so something happened to you 7 or 8 years ago. You don't have to give me details, but by the way, everybody, you notice those two things coincided, which means something happened 8 years ago. We're low on time here, so like I'm saying, I definitely thank you for your candor about that, but what I am saying is at this point right now, keeping all of that into account, yeah. Another 30 years. In her case here, she can probably retire from the feds in 20, but my real point is, okay, will that be enough? Will it be enough? What kind of life are we going to be living? Those are the real things to keep in mind. Because even little old Kansas City is not, not a little place anymore like that. Think about that for a few moments. Kansas City, Missouri is not no little place like that anymore. They have much bigger ambitions, and they're moving on them. Hell, once they lost their NFL team, they had no choice. But Kansas City is trying to move on those ambitions. In other words, it wants to be a more expensive place to be. And you can already see the writing on the wall.
That is true.
Do you have any advice for yourself at the age of 25? I would just like, that'll be my last question. If you could talk to yourself at 25, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give her?
I would say move to another city, a larger city, first of all, where there's more opportunity and more high net worth men. And I would say spend some more time around women who were already married, and learn kind of what it takes to be a wife and to get the kind of men that you want to spend the rest of you can have the kind of lifestyle that you want. And based off what I've learned from these channels, spend some more time listening to men to see what their priorities are and what's important to them and what they want in a wife.
Men are the simplest people in the world. We are the simplest creatures on the planet. Women are the complicated ones. If you can't get a man to give you what you want, the problem is 99% of the time going to be the woman. Every woman will tell you that men are the simplest creatures on the planet. Every woman will tell you, men are simple. They simple. Men are real easy. They simple. Yeah. How in the hell could you possibly fumble the ball? Well, you see, there's something else I wanted. And it's all gravy in your 20s. And you're like, okay, I'll carry this myself. Damn them men. I'll do it myself. Baby, you ain't going to want to be doing none of this by the time you're in your 30s. You ain't going to be wanting to do none of this. You're going to want to have what your mama and your grandmama had, if they had any sense. You're going to want to be able to sit your ass down. You got a workplace that's demanding that the women do exactly what the men do. And the women are like, okay, well, all them desk jobs and whatnot, they figured out, we just put more years on you. We'll just stretch out retirement. We'll just make it harder. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's not getting easier. A man is the cheat code. You went down to Miami. You liked that, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. By the time you're 60, you're going to like it a lot more. And that's the message I have for the other women out here. By the time you're 60, you're going to like it a lot more. I would just like to see more of you have the option. That's all. I would just like to see more of you have the option. Stormy, now that you're actually on the phone with me here, by the way, because we know what got you started asking your questions there, did you have any other questions you wanted to ask me?
No, but I just want to reiterate for everyone, because I remember having a conversation with a woman back before I got married, before I even started dating my husband. And this woman is a very high earning woman. She's the superintendent of schools somewhere. And she was saying, I don't mind marrying a man that makes less than me. He just needs to make this much. And she gave a number. And I thought, well, yeah, it's really not that important to me, who makes the most, how much money he makes, this and that. I just want a good man. But now that I'm in a marriage, like I said, I realized it's hard being in a marriage like this, even if the man is really good. So I understand now why all those hypergamy channels are up, although every woman's not going to get to be a stay-at-home mom and have a well-off husband. However, ladies, look for a man that makes enough that he can provide a nice lifestyle, and so that it's not all on you. And fellas, be competitive and productive so you can get the kind of woman you want and raise your family and at the lifestyle you want them to be at.
I want to thank you for giving us a call. By the way, I just unblocked you, so you can comment.
Oh, my goodness. I emailed you. You asked me to email you, and I did.
I didn't get an email from you. If you didn't get an answer from me, it's because I didn't get an email from you. However, I think this has been a very informative, very insightful phone call. I think this is very informative and very insightful.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. Like I say, her situation is not abnormal. Her situation is not abnormal. That situation is the norm today. Most of these women, primarily most of these black women today in particular, As a black man, I'm focused on black women in particular. Most black women today are in her position. They're making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year. They live in a major American city. They're over the age of 40. They have no retirement savings. They have no savings, no disposable income. They either have no man, or the man that they're with is not achieving enough to be able to make it worth the while. She's dealing with mental and emotional issues, or she's dealing with childhood issues. She can't get out of her own way. You know, the clock is running. If you're a disciplinary problem, you know, and you're telling yourself, well, don't worry, there'll be a man available when I get ready. Yeah, there will be a man, but it won't be a producer. It won't be a producer. He'll be a guy and he'll be all right, but you're getting what you want, but you're not getting what you need. When she talked about this stuff, oh, he's a good father and a good Christian. Yeah, those are things that are valuable when you're 22 and 23. Before you hit the real world. Out here in the real world, a man needs to come to the table first and foremost producing. That's the most important thing. It is what it is. It is what it is. As a woman, you have unspoken assumptions. Your assumption is that just getting with him, your life is gonna change. I didn't even really ask her the devastating questions. I took it easy on her, but I didn't ask the devastating questions like, when you went to Miami, who paid? When you went to Miami, who paid for that trip? Who paid for that trip to Miami? Who paid for that trip to Charlotte? Did you all go 50-50 on that? Because let me tell you, nothing makes a woman feel like a trip was more wasted than when she got to pay for her own damn vacation. Nothing makes her feel more wasted than that. No wonder she can't remember where she was. Ladies, these are not going to be temporary decisions. I have said it now for a decade. I've said it here in the business now for years. These are not temporary decisions you're making. These are permanent decisions you're making. You're going to make them in the blink of an eye. But these are going to be permanent decisions. This will not be a temporary decision. Now, I'm 25, 26. Let me let that fella go. He's too nerdy. He's too simple. He's too square. Let me get out here and live my best life. That's not going to be a temporary decision. This is going to be a permanent one. It's going to be a permanent one. You just don't realize it yet. By the time you realize that you're knee deep in the quicksand, oh, hell, that was a permanent decision. Yeah. At this point, what he wants to do now, math is going to take over. Caller from area code 678, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Turn off your speakers.
I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Nearing from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Nearing from Stone Mountain, what's on your mind?
I'm hearing a lot of females, and you said it also, where the ladies, they're proud about them, you know, having these jobs, you know, making $70,000, $80,000 a year. But what I've noticed, because I have an older brother, he's 16 years older than me, and watching his life, what I've noticed with a lot of those females is that as soon as they turn over 55, they start losing those jobs because of ageism or whatever. You know, the corporations can find somebody younger and put them in their place, versus the guys who, because they've been so used to maybe getting fired, they started to develop skills where they don't require the need of working at a job, and they're able to bounce back more quicker based on the skills that they're able to develop. That happened with my brother. He was working for the city. He was making decent money. He lost his job. His wife was making more money than him. She started to look down on him. She divorced him. He ended up building a business, being a contractor, you know, blue collar work. He was able to bounce back being a contractor. Right after, when he got back on his feet, she lost her job, you know, and she's been struggling ever since. So I see that a lot of people need to really take heed about the jobs that they have, because they are jobs. They're not skills, you know, these government positions and all of that. What say you about that?
Well, certainly, the real issue here is men were the workhorses, and traditionally, that's the role that we played. We're not going to outlive the wives. Our job is to be the workhorse. Our job is to make sure that our women and our children are good. So typically speaking, we wind up checking out sooner because we've taken care of the family, and the family's supposed to take care of us in the form of respect. Woman gets out here and decides that she wants to live her life as a disrespectful shrew, and the only way you can do that is if you give yourself veto power. The only way you can give yourself veto power is if you're willing to work for it and pay for it. That's the only way you can do that. It doesn't work any other way. So what you wind up doing is you wind up sacrificing years. They think they're going to pay money, but you're going to sacrifice years. And what happens, what you were talking about here before, the real problem that gets to them is that they're such a discipline. How you do one thing is how you do all things. You can't get along with a man. You're not going to be able to get along with that job very much either. You're going to be looking to get veto power over them. But the only way that works is if you change jobs. So what winds up happening is they go from one place to another because they value their freedom and their ability to be a disciplinary problem. I want to be irreverent. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. Yeah, but changing jobs puts you in a period of unemployment. You're going to a new place. You got to learn the lay of the land all over again. So what ends up happening is they end up losing. So then they end up in their late 30s or 40s. Now that they've been beaten down and they're out of options, now they get a job and they're like, okay, I got to stay with this one. Well, she waited till she was in her 40s to grow the hell up. So now she finds herself staying with this job at this point. Now I will stick with it. Yeah, but you waited until the game is halfway run out now. You are only getting started at the age of 42, 43, 45. You were supposed to be starting at the age of 22, 23, 25. You're just starting at 40, 45. So the real thing I notice is women changing jobs so much, and then they finally settle down or get beaten down and finally just give up the chase when they get in 40 or 45 years old. And now they've started in earnest towards their retirement. Well, the problem is you don't have enough years to retire in a timely fashion. You're going to be 70 or 75 by the time you can go. And let me just tell you right now, I go to Miami every once in a while. Starting to look like New York down there. It's not nearly as enjoyable as it used to be. It's not the place it was 20 years ago. Not at all. And a lot of other places down there in Florida too. So Florida is just getting messed up. But in any case, let me tell you, it's nice to be able to go to a place and be able to pay for it yourself. I've been doing those kind of things since I was in my 20s and 30s. It's nice to not be a rickety old man walking around that place. It's nice to be, compared to the rest of them there, it's nice to be a young fella. My hips ain't bad. My knees ain't bad. Every time I go to one of those resorts or whatever, you see the old white folk, they come rickety around there. They're waddling through the places and things. Their knees are bad. Their hips are bad and whatnot. I drive up in something that's decent. It's not eccentric, but it's decent. And, it's like I'm not waddling my way through the place and whatnot. You yank out that Amex, you make it do what it do. That's nice to be able to do that when you're still young enough to enjoy it. That's nice to be able to do that when you are still young enough to enjoy it, damn it. That's nice. Let me tell you right now, anybody who tells you it ain't nice is lying their ass off. I live it. That's hella nice. To be able to do this while you're still young enough and can do anything you want to and your body ain't broke down and all rickety. You don't feel like an old person who just made it under the gate before it closed. I'm glad to have years of that behind me. That's real damn nice. It sure is. And let me tell you, it's hell watching other people do it and you can't. It's hell watching other people do it and you can't. I see a bunch of little old rickety old folk and stuff. They don't look happy. They're usually sitting there squawking at each other. Well, hell yeah, it's hard to feel good when you sitting up here and had your third hip replacement. No, he's there because he's trying to make it as easy on himself as he can, but it's not like he's vibrant. He ain't doing the Denzel Washington strut. There's something to be said for that, man. There's something to be said for that. Not sitting up here being stupid and running the damn clock out and waiting until you're broke down and then talking about you're going to enjoy it later. Screw that. But what happens is they usually make a bad decision, and that bad decision starts to cascade. Because in the words of Robert Kiyosaki, they were making assumptions that they didn't know they were making. They were making assumptions that they did not know they were making. They didn't know that if you don't get this man in your 20s, you will have to work clean through your 30s. Because, and if you don't get it, if nobody's taking you off the market by year 30, your odds of getting this closed at this point now are dropping by the day, because there's an inherent problem with you and men see it and they're avoiding it. You think you're single by choice. No, the men see a problem and they're avoiding you. I'll carry this by myself. Do you understand what you're really saying? Yeah, I can get a job. Anything a man can do, I can do. There's one thing that a man can do that you can't. What's that? Pay all the bills on your behalf. Take you on vacation on his dime. That's something you can't do for yourself. Somebody else, by definition, has to do that for you. And you don't understand the real cost of doing this. The real cost of doing this is that you don't have somebody to counsel with. I've talked to a number of different females who didn't know what their mortgages really added up to. I explained it to them and all of them got despondent. That was the cost of being strong, independent, and defiant. Slick at the mouth. A disciplinary problem. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. Congratulations. The white man at the mortgage company told you what to do. You're gonna give up 30 years of your life. I had a couple of them. They done no money down and no down payment and 0% interest. At least they thought it was gonna be. No down payment. They found out, oh hell, that made matters worse. They didn't really realize how much until now. They're out here buying cars. These salesmen are sitting up here talking to these cars. You got a house and a car payment. Man, look here. Your finances are strapped until one or both of these things get paid off. And in her case, like I say, she started paying on the house and then she refied it. I'm like, okay. That 30-year mortgage turned into a 50-year mortgage. Do y'all remember? Do y'all realize that? That 30-year mortgage turned into a 50-year mortgage. And she's 46 years old. A man in that house who fools with you for real. He been rocking with you since you were in your 20s. He is all the way down with you like 4 damn flats. He is all the way down with you. He ain't gonna leave you out there hanging like that. But your job will. And what they found out is you need to invest in a man. Your job is never going to invest in you. A man will. Your job never will. I'll let you have the last word.
Well, thank you very much for this broadcast. I thank you for allowing me to speak, and be one.
Black First Brother, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. By the way, yeah, Beyonce said I can have another you in a minute. She got with Jay-Z. She ain't tried to trade him in yet. Yeah, she found out ain't gonna be another you. There isn't another you. Yeah, it's a great little slogan in the song. Yeah, there can be another you if the man is a bum. Yeah, you can replace a bum in a minute. You can't replace a genuine producer in a minute. You can't replace competence in a minute. Competence, decisiveness, productivity, proven results, resilience. You can't replace that in a minute. By the way, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal or Cash App or Super Chat also as well. So thank you very much to my Super Chat here. Divine Feminine, I see you out there. Thank you very much for that there. She's always checking in with me here, so I appreciate that. Big shout out here, Frito So Fly. I see you there, brother. Chris Linder, thank you very much. And Jay Freeman Blackman. So you and Frito So Fly, thank you very much here for contributing to support tonight's program. We appreciate that, and all the rest of you here as well. We see you out there. I don't see anybody asking any questions. That's good. Let me get another caller here. Caller from area code 801. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. It's Anna calling from Clearfield, Utah.
Okay. Take your phone off a speaker.
It is off a speaker.
Okay. You are you on earbuds?
No, sir. I just went. Is this better?
Yeah, that's better. What you said, Anna calling from where?
Clearfield, Utah.
Okay, Anna from Clearfield, Utah. What's on your mind?
Hey, so I have a question. I'm wondering why, as a woman, I'm under 30. I've been married for a long time. You know, I have 3 to 4 kids, and I do have a producer as a husband. But I'm wondering why sometimes I feel that is not enough. And if maybe it's my fault or if other women feel that.
Okay, so you're married and you have 4 kids?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 kids, yeah.
Wait a minute, 3 or 4 kids. Ma'am, you don't know how many kids you got? This is scary.
I just don't want to give any indication and want to keep it a little bit private.
Okay, well, that really matters. So nobody knows who you are, so you can at least tell us the number of kids. That kind of matters,
3.
Okay. You got 3 kids, you've been married here, and you're kind of ungrateful.
Jason, I try to be very grateful, and I've been listening to you for 2 years. But sometimes I'm not sure why I feel like, and he is a 100% a producer, and I don't know why sometimes there is a little bit of something lacking in the marriage, and I want to know why. And I'm pretty sure it's my fault.
Okay, I got a couple questions here. How many of those children are his?
Oh, all of them, sir.
Okay. How old is he?
31.
Okay, he's 31. How long you been married to him then?
9 years.
Okay, you all married young. What exactly is
Yes,
it you're unhappy about?
I feel like a lot of the deciding points I have to do, and although he is a producer, sometimes I feel like he might be what you say is an alpha producer outside of the home, but not so much in the home.
A professional alpha. He's an alpha at his job and in his personal life. He's beta as he can be. Okay, let me find out here. How old are you now?
28.
Okay, so you all been married for 9 years, so he met you fresh out of school. I smell some Mormonism.
Yes, he did.
I smell some Mormonism going on. I'm sniffing some Mormonism. All right. In any case, look, here's the real issue here, because I don't really hear a complaint. I don't really hear a problem, and that's a very dangerous thing. A female who cannot be happy. Let me ask you a question here. About how tall are you?
About 5'4".
And how much do we weigh at 5'4"?
190.
Okay, because you sure are huffing and puffing on this phone like Lizzo. So I'm trying to figure out here. She said she's.
I was trying to come up.
Okay, ma'am. I'm just saying. She's sitting here huffing and puffing on the phone,
right.
So I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
You are 100% right.
Okay.
Yes, you are 100% right.
Okay. I just sent you a text message.
Okay.
I'd like you to send me a link to your Instagram.
Okay.
While you're doing that, do you work?
I do not.
So you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yes, sir.
And you've been a stay-at-home mom for how long?
Basically the entirety.
So this man in the 21st century has allowed you the blessing, the privilege of being a stay-at-home mom in the 21st century. And you are so grateful. Now, you've called me up to tell me about how you're not sure you're satisfied.
I think part of it, you're right. Part of it is probably that I have to work on myself without becoming ungrateful and without becoming a problem. I do not want to be like the modern women. I don't want to do. I see their example, and I definitely don't want to do that.
Sounds like you're well on your way. How old is your oldest child?
About 8 years old.
Okay, well, in his case here, I'm talking about your husband's case. Does your husband know that you have this discontent?
He does, and we've both talked a lot about it, but like I said, I'm still very grateful to him because I know that my situation is it doesn't happen every day.
Okay. What is it that you think you would like to see from him that would make you, quote, feel differently? What is it you'd like to see?
Basically, I would. It's funny you say that, but I think women, as me, we want our men to have more direction, and we want to be led, even if like getting us, keeping us on point is what I think he needs to keep me competitive. I need to keep myself competitive, like you say, and he doesn't do that to me. And I feel like I could do better. By better I mean better. We can work out together. We can do lots of things together, and sometimes he doesn't want to, and so I feel like I'm falling behind.
Let me. Your account is private here. I just requested to follow it, so you need to go ahead and approve that.
Okay.
There's a reason.
Okay.
There's a reason.
Sure.
All right. First of all here, well, there the kids are, so hate to say it here, but watch out for the local madmen. Whole lot going on out there.
What is it?
Well, it's just folks out here visiting the schools who shouldn't be there, so stay about that.
I know.
Stay about that. That's cool here. Where's his family originally from?
We're from Latin America.
Okay, so you all are first generation.
90 seconds.
No, he is. I'm not.
Okay, he's first generation, you're not. Okay. We're not going to go into the details of that part here because I see enough, but basically to anybody wondering here, so we got a Latino family, which is perfectly fine here. He's got the kids dressed up in their Mexican stuff. That's cool. That's great. Is he religious?
Yeah, but not so much.
Okay.
60 seconds.
That recorder thing, I hate that. All right. All right. Well, like I say, she's not built like a potato, so that's nice and everything. However, that's not the big. At least she got the right camera angles. Let me rephrase that. She's got the right camera angles here, but she certainly looks like a woman who's given birth 3 times. So let me just say it like that instead. The folks cannot see you. That's the only reason I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, they cannot see you, and I'm not going to put any pictures of you up or anything like that. But I just want them to know.
Thank you.
She does look like she's given birth 3 times. So she certainly is built like that. So her weight may be where it is, but she looks like she's given birth 3 times. She does not look like she is not going to be challenging any of the hot girls on Instagram.
10 seconds.
So, but you look you look like you are the best mom at the PTA. You look like you're the best mom at the PTA. So I'll give you that much here. So you look like mom of the year, which is perfectly fine. He looks like a straight fella here, stand-up dude and stuff like that. He's what I would expect, but he looks like the kind of fella who works 16 hours a day.
Yes, Jason, he does work a lot.
Yeah, he looks like that kind of fella here. So he ain't swagalicious, and he strikes me as being a bit of a square. And I need more women to be grateful for having a competent square dude.
Yes.
Because here's the real problem. The real problem is you came out of school, you got married to this guy early, and you don't appreciate what you have. And the reason for that is because he made your life too easy. Fellas, remember what I said? We were dealing with the most cunning generation of females ever. They've been watching Instagram, and they're not grateful. They're looking at him like, well, you can do more. I should have all of this and, quote, excitement too. Where's some excitement? And it's like, Heifer, you want to see some excitement? Talk to Stormy, who just got off the phone talking about the damn rent. And a $45,000 house is going to cost her $260,000. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Your husband has liberated you from that.
You're right.
And instead of you being grateful that he's liberated you from that, you're like, yeah, let me see if I can get some more here. Let me see if I can get some more.
Yeah, you're.
So what
you're
I'm saying is you're 28,
right, and
you're 28 years old, and you're demonstrating that you're not grateful for what he's done. So in that situation, all that really does is tell men it doesn't matter what they do. It's never good enough. And I see y'all's house. This ain't no little ass house either. What the hell? Yeah. This is a big ass house. How many bedrooms? Right. How many bedrooms y'all got in this damn mansion?
Oh, about 5.
Y'all don't see this house. She's balling out. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all don't see this house. She is balling out, y'all. She is balling. Y'all don't see this house. She thought this is why I want to see the Instagram. That's why I tell you, don't see me no pictures. I want to see the Instagram, y'all. She is balling out. All I'm gonna say, for those of you, if you want to have an idea, Hoovie's Garage on YouTube, go take a look at Hoovie's Garage. She got a house like he got. For those of you who know about Hoovie's Garage, if you want an equivalent, go to Hoovie's. This is a big ass driveway. This is a lot of concrete on this driveway. Those are things that people like me who know construction and contracting, that this was to lay a slab this big. Yeah, no, again, she out there in Utah. That don't mean a damn thing. Housing prices have been extreme now for 20-something years. But this is a big-ass slab that house is sitting on. This is a huge slab you're on. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all, she is balling out. She is balling out.
You're right.
She's on, let me tell you right now.
I just want to say,
baby, look here. If that man get near anything else, they gonna knock you and you're gonna come up missing if another chick got a chance to get at him. You're gonna come up missing. Exactly. She gonna be grateful. Now I'm gonna say one more thing. There is a picture that you have in one of these multiple picture things. I want to get the exact date because I want to take a look at that. She got 10 pictures on there. No, it's not 10 pictures. Got the kids all dressed up for whatever holiday it is. So they got their little hats on and things. That's cute. That date doesn't really stick out at me. I'm trying to figure out, is there a holiday I missed or something? I don't think so. Okay. I want you to go to September 6th, 2020. There's a group of pictures you have there. Now, there's a reason I want you to go there because I'm trying to prevent myself from saying something in particular that would identify you. So I'm taking great pains not to do that. You're welcome.
Thank you. Let me check.
I want you to go there because when you go,
I know what you're talking
go
about.
to picture number 4 and you see him and the kids standing in front of a certain car back there.
Yeah.
Whose car is that?
Oh, that's not his. It's it was like a car show or something.
Okay, y'all.
He's writing them.
Okay, I can go ahead and say it then. He's in front of a super exotic. He's in front of a super exotic. So, okay. All righty then. Ma'am, all I can say here, like I say, that. He likes that. You like it too. Because slow down. Take a look at your caption on there. Because you talked about a certain place that starts with the letter T. Do you see the extents I'm going to the protect your anonymity now? You talked about that, and I'm going down to another thing here, and you tagged the place. So y'all were doing y'all were doing the most that first week of September. They was balling out, okay? Stormy ain't been on vacation. This dude took her on vacay. Do you hear me? He took her and the kids on vacay.
It wasn't a vacation, I don't think. It's still within an hour or two of where we live.
Okay, how many days did you go? Because this has got different dates on it. How many days was you there?
Are you talking the one with the hats and the...
No, if you take a look, 2 days before that, September 1st, you tagged the place.
Oh.
I know what I'm looking at.
Right,
you tagged it. Thank you.
We were in sorry. We were in California.
Thank you. I know what the hell I'm talking about here. You was on vacay. I don't know what the hell y'all. He's taking
You're
her.
Right. I don't use
okay, ma'am. He is y'all. He has
media.
let her live so lavish, and he has taken her on so many places. She can't even keep it straight. I'm sitting here looking at it. She has gotten to lay back so much she can't even keep it straight. And rather than be grateful, what you're really saying is I'm 28 and he don't make my toes curl. And I'm wondering, all she really wants to do now, she wants to put some mileage on them draws with some silliness. You have a producer. Okay. Here's the question you need to be asking yourself. This man, his paper is all the way straight, which is kind of messed up. They brought him up here from South America and then gave him more chances than black folk, but that's a different conversation. We ain't gonna have that conversation tonight. I gotta do my due diligence. Baby, he came up from South America. He's done got his paper straight and everything, and you're not grateful. This dude could replace.
I am grateful.
Okay, man, stop talking over the host. This man could replace you tonight. On this phone with me. He could replace you tonight. All I got to do is show that picture of him in front of that house. And he could just simply say, hey, look, the current resident don't want to do right. Who wants to move in?
Yeah, you're right. Uh-huh.
So this is a terrible amount of immaturity going on this phone. You're 28 years old talking like you're 16. Baby, what in the hell? He's not here to give you excitement. Let me explain something to you. You are supposed to be the cute one. You are supposed to be the pretty one. You are supposed to be the one who's sitting at home. That's not his position. He's not there to be Mr. Excitement. His job is to give you stability. So that you ain't sitting on my damn phone at 45 years old talking about you got to go back to work because there's no money in the 401k and the house isn't going to be paid off until you're 70. In the chat room, they said he need 2 side chicks. I was going to say that before. By the way, that's where he needs to get your attitude correct. He needs to show you that he can pull something else so that you realize I better quit fooling around. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Y'all,
yes,
he's made life too easy for her, and now she's taking him for granted, which is why I said this is the other side of contempt. I told y'all, you got to put these women through their paces and crap test them because she doesn't appreciate what she has. She's like, oh, well, I got him now. We're married and we got the kid. I got him now. Well, he needs to do more. Wait a minute. You weren't saying none of this bull crap when he was marrying you. Now, you weren't saying any of this then. This is the kind of thing that makes the red pill and the black pill and makes those kind of clowns. When females do what you're doing. And she talks so nice and petite and so feminine and friendly. And you would never imagine that right below the surface, oh, she's ready to sit up here and go on Instagram and get flued out. You all would never imagine that's right beneath the surface. And you would think she was married to Pablo Escobar or something, and he's just really doing crazy stuff. I can take a look at this guy. This dude is square as he can be. He looks like something from a Robert Rodriguez film. He's square as he can be. And instead of you, I mean, like I said, we recognize squares around the world. It don't matter where he's from. This dude is square as he can be. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't hating on him. That's good. He's taking care of you. He's taking care of his kids. You got a bunch of women out there. Their kids haven't even seen their damn father. And this dude done come up here. He done come up here and said, I got one life to live and I'm going to make sure my kids are good. And his woman is sitting there saying, I'm so glad you put me in a 1%er lifestyle and taking care of the kids. But I need some excitement too. And you ain't assertive, baby. He's assertive on them damn bills.
You're right. He's an incredible man, and my father is the same way.
Ma'am, I'm gonna say right now, I hope he gets a side broad because this kind of talk, I'm not laughing. By the way, I'm not giggling. This kind of heinous disrespect. This man has done all of this for you, and it ain't enough. Well, then he needs to get somebody it is enough for. Hey, y'all, wanted a woman who wants a square dude who pays the bill, put you in a 4,000 square foot house, and got you balling out to California and other places. By the way, I'm boring. dropping my DMs, and then go ahead and get your replacement rolling. Cause you got him, and you sitting up here acting like, well, he needs to do more. He's already giving you more than 90% of the women in this country get, and you're still not happy. And by the way, y'all, she's white Hispanic, so if you thought this was confined to black women, you dumb as hell. This fella is sitting up here doing the most. He's doing the most. I was willing to listen to a little bit of what you had to say until I saw the house. Once I saw the house, I'm like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. No. This dude's working every bit of 16 hours a damn week to keep this rolling. The kids got their damn toys and everything else. She should be straight. Nope. Let me get some more. Okay, he has my permission to get a side broad.
All right, I'll tell him.
Okay, then she done got her hair colored too?
That was just one time.
That was enough times. That was enough times.
You're right.
Ma'am?
You're right.
Ma'am.
I appreciate what you said.
Slow down. You've been married to this man for 9 years. Correct?
Yes.
I think I see
Yes.
one of the problems here now. When did you get your degree?
When, sir?
Yes, when did you get that degree?
I got it through the beginning of the marriage. I went to college when my kids were little, because the same thing. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to college as a 40-year-old, So, but I haven't used it. I haven't worked, but something just told me to get a degree. But it's a useless degree.
Yeah, but my point is,
I'll admit it.
The real problem is you went to go get it. That's the real problem.
Yeah.
A married woman getting a degree, that means, fellas, she wants the ability to challenge your authority. And the only way she can do that is if she can get the workforce to help her with that. So let me get a degree so I can get a good job so I can challenge his authority. Because you see, I might not be finished running these streets yet. So just in case that gets in there, let me make sure I got a fallback position. I'm going to tell you right now. I know you have been DMing or allowing other men to DM you. And I know you have.
No, not necessarily. No.
Yeah, not necessarily. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's a yes. If you tell me that man is the only one you've spoken with, I'm going to tell you that's a lie. Yeah, there you go.
No, we haven't.
There you go.
We haven't had those kinds of problems.
If you don't quit, if you don't stop.
Oh shit!
You need to go talk to your father, and you need to go apologize to your husband.
Okay.
You are doing better than 90% of these women out here. They would kill to have what you have. And the real problem is you all get it, and then as soon as you get it, you don't want it because now you're spoiled, and you think if you get divorced, you can get divorced and you'll still be able to keep it. You got another thought coming, by the way. And, oh, well, I'm bored. So as soon as y'all have it, there are so many women who are just pre-programmed to destroy and wreck their own lives. They get exactly what they want and what they need, and then it's like, yeah, let me go this way. It's not exciting. And there are so many women who want their lives to be a beautiful tragedy. I call it a beautiful tragedy. And she's got everything you're looking for here. And she's like, yeah, but I want something else. Ma'am, if you want excitement, go take up a kite flying hobby. Leave this man alone. He is doing everything he's supposed to be. If you want excitement, that's your job. Go excite yourself if you want that. His job is he's doing and provides stability. He has done that in spades.
Yes, thank you so much.
As nice as I can be. You see, she was getting short. She was trying to get short with it there. No, I'm going to keep it all the way real. Pablo is doing his thing down there. You didn't see what I'm seeing. It's like, oh, he got her straight. She's all the way straight. This is what happens. You leave a woman at home alone by herself. You haven't demonstrated to her that you will swap her out and change her out. And she develops contempt. She's not grateful for what you've done. She's developed contempt for it. Oh, well, nigga, I got you. Oh, well, all right. So, like I say, she's in her late 20s. Keep that in mind. She's in her late 20s. So she's not taking it. She is not nearly as grateful as the women in their late 30s and 40s. She's in her 20s and she's like, hey, I wonder how many more miles I got left. Baby, you look every bit of a woman who's given birth to 3 kids. You don't have the sexual marketplace value you might think to yourself you do. You ain't gonna get another one of these guys. You're not gonna get another one like him. You're gonna mess around and do like Kris Kardashian did and sit up here and be sleeping with the damn pool boy and mess up the marriage. And then it's like, okay, well, I'll go get me another one. Maybe you ain't gonna do that with no 3 kids in tow. This man is doing everything he's supposed to be doing. He's handling the bills. He's handling the business. That is it. That is it. I can see it different that there was holes in the game. You should be grateful for that. You should be grateful for that. It's a good thing we had these phone calls here because we need women to listen to themselves and hear themselves, from Stormy to what's the name just got off the phone. We need them to sit here and listen to themselves. So they can hear, by the way, there's so many women out here who are dedicated to messing up their lives. She's got the bag, y'all. She's got the bag. She was able to finally get the bag and she's like, I ain't worried about that. He's not exciting enough. He's not assertive enough. Wait a minute. The bills are straight. These kids are looking good. Y'all vacationing and stuff. What she really means is, I want some excitement. Oh, no, he needs to sit his ass over there and rinse and repeat. That's what he needs to do. He needs to do that. In the chat room, you're right. She's probably hanging out with a bunch of single females. There's other single females around her. She's sitting with them and she's starting to lust for that single life again. Because she's been married so long, she hasn't really had to get out here and hump it on her own and fight to get a producer. She got lucky and hit the lottery at a young age. Now she takes it for granted. So she's sitting around with a bunch of other single females squawking at each other. And so these are a bunch of single women and she's starting to identify with them, even in Utah. No, bad influences. No, you doing good. Leave it the hell alone. Leave it the hell alone. This man's got you straight. Leave it alone. March your ass back out there in that sexual marketplace and find out what the hell is really waiting for you. Ain't nothing waiting for you out here but a hard time and a hard way to go. And by the way, as soon as she gets back out here, she'll be scrambling to get back to him. Oh, baby, it's terrible. It's awful. I wish I hadn't did it. Okay. A lot of lessons to learn here tonight. Ladies, you need to learn to appreciate the quiet serenity of a boring day. To have a man who ain't out here in the streets. He's coming home every day. Your children know where their father is. You know where your husband is. He got the option of laying up with other broads and he ain't doing it. Because I just saw, he's equipped. He could do it. He could run the tables. He ain't 6'4", but he could run the tables. He was able to get you, baby. He can get another 3. Believe me. And instead of just like, hey, I got him and he's square, so it's not going to be a bunch of fighting competition. He's not looking to cycle me out for a more fly chick. Let me be grateful. Well, he's a professional alpha, but when he gets home, it's like directions and stuff. Okay, ma'am, hang up the damn Christmas lights and sit your ass down. This man's not going 50-50. You ain't working. He's pulling all the bills in this McMansion y'all living in. He's pulling all the bills. No, ma'am. Have you a great big tall glass and sit the hell down. You go hang up the Christmas lights. You go redecorate the kitchen. Do whatever. He probably doesn't even care. There's a bunch of women on the phone right now. They wish they had a kitchen they could redecorate or a house they could redecorate. You got one. This man probably doesn't even give a damn what you do. He's just like, all right, do what you do. Do your thing. All right, whatever. She's got all that access and still like, yeah, this ain't good enough. And she's 28. 28. You know how much runway to screw up she got in front of her? I want the young chicks to figure that out right there, man. Y'all get y'all a little square dude who's going to be loyal, who's going to be consistent, who's going to be dedicated, who's going to make sure you taken care of. Because let me tell you right now, when you get 40 years old, you ain't going to be care about getting your ankles put behind your damn head and all that old mess right there. You're going to be like, hey, I'm trying to get out this damn workforce. She's already out of it. That's why she doesn't appreciate it, because she never had to fight through the workforce. So she doesn't know what it's like to have somebody who's liberated her from that. So she doesn't really understand the value of it, because she's never actually had to work and get out there and make it happen. So she's like, I've just always lived this way. I just always had it like this. Now, if she had to get out here and get it how she lived on her own, she'd feel differently about that. If she actually had to make it happen. No, y'all ladies, sit your asses down. Get the hell out of this damn marketplace. It's not a marketplace, it's a wasteland. Get out of there. Get out of there. You're done. Hang up your cleats. You're done. This is it. You stay where you're at. If she was calling me to find out how to alter his personality, damn that. His personality is fine. His personality is fine. Let me be very, very clear. When we talk about guys who are professional alphas but personal betas in their lives, I want them to understand, if he were on the phone with me, I would tell him, hey, just understand that's not going to be an attractive trait for the females. But let me be very, very clear to the females. If you got a guy who takes care of his kids, he ain't sitting up here dodging the kids and doesn't want to take pictures with them and whatnot because he's scared the other hoes are going to see. You got a fella who's being straight with you and the kids. He got you living lavish and everything is straight here. You take your little personal beta and be happy. Take your little personal beta and be happy. This is the best you can do. Yes. You have maxed out. This is the best you can do. No, ma'am, you don't get Mr. Professional Alpha, Mr. Excitement. No, you get this guy. And by the way, you're damn lucky to have this guy. This is the one you get. This is it. You left the sexual marketplace. Baby, you already cashed your chips out. She cashed her chips out and left the casino. She's looking to go back. She's sitting up here fiending. She's biting her lip and licking her lips, driving by the damn casinos. She already hit the jackpot, but she wants to go back and gamble it again. I tell y'all, ladies, grab your chips and leave the damn casino. Take your winnings and leave. Get the hell out of there. The longer you stay, the more you're courting disaster. She did good. And now hanging out with a bunch of females on Instagram, they're going to influence you to come where they are. Ain't you tired of that boring married life? Okay. You want to know what real excitement is like? Losing a producer. That's damn exciting. You know what's, by the way, for her being 28 and she's never really held a job before, you know what's really exciting, ma'am? A 40-hour work week. Your degree is useless, so you're going to get an entry-level job. You know what's really exciting? A 40-hour work week. A 50-hour work week. That's exciting. That's assertive. I want to thank you all for joining us here for tonight's program. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that laid the foundation upon which all of these manosphere guys take all of their philosophies and repackage them. This is the place that taught all of them. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time we're on. So make sure you're subscribed. YouTube tells me that only about a third of you are actually subscribed to the channel and only about a third of you are actually have all your notifications turned on. So make sure you have all notifications turned on. That's going to be a really big thing. We're going to be doing our patron here tomorrow. We did our credit card workshop, by the way. For those of you who are not members of my patron, we did the credit card workshop last week. Everybody loved it. We got everybody up to speed on it and whatnot. So you missed a lot, but hey, it's not too late to get on the train. So we're going to be doing our patron tomorrow. So the link is in the description if you want to sign up and join us for that as well. There's a reason why people join up for it. They love it because it works. So definitely make sure you want to join us for that also. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, ma'am, handle your business or your business will handle you.